But I think the development of full artificial intelligence would spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
I don't know whether rockets or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. They were too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
Self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio.
Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest. Into the digital darkness.
All right, good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and tonight I'm here with your co-host, Ash, the reptilian from Mars. And we'd like to say hello to all of you whom we also have troubled minds. This show is live. We are broadcasting we're streaming on DLive, Rockfin, YouTube, and Twitter, and we're trying to get back on Fringe. Fringe is down for the time being. I don't know what's going on. Still working on that behind the scenes, and I'll keep you updated. So we're going to stay on a radio schedule tonight and try and get back on Fringe. But for now, Fringe is down for some reason, and we're just going to keep on doing it like we normally do. All right, so this is the show where we get together and talk about all the things we're not allowed to talk about. We do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific. And what are those things, you may ask? That's right, aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, the government, academia, the 24-hour news cycle, propaganda, and the general feeling that we live in the upside down. As always, we're taking your phone calls. This is a live show. It is Wednesday night, October 13th. And if you want to be part of the show tonight, the number to call is 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. You can also join the Discord at troubledminds.org. Discord's an amazing thing, and like I always say, it's free, and it's all you need is an internet connection, and you can connect with people all over the world. So please do join that, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. And speaking of Discord, we've got a special old friend on the show tonight, on the Discord, as a matter of fact, which is now patched into Mars. So let's see if we can actually make the uplink to Mars and get Ash on the show. Beep, beep. Test 1, 2. Earth to Mars. Do you copy? Are you there, Ash? What's up, buddy? What's going on? Test 1, 2. All right. Apparently not. I guess the Discord and Mars uplink is broken. Okay. All right. So we're not gonna give Discord that much credit, but let's be real about the Mars thing anyway. No, let's not. Okay. So anyway, Ash is back on the show for us this evening, and so what we're going to talk about tonight is there's some weirdness going on from these old emails. Actually, there's an old set of emails that were released by WikiLeaks. Let's say dumped by WikiLeaks back in I don't know, what would you say? Back on 2016. So the emails actually happened in 2016, and there's some weirdness with this. There's some weirdness with this. Okay, I guess we're having technical issues. Test 1 2. Let's try and make the uplink back to Mars. Test 1 2. Beep beep. Earth to Mars. Ash, do you copy?
Hello, humans. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. I can speak for myself. The rest of the humans, well, they're on their own because I'm on your side, right? I'm definitely on your side. So yeah,
don't worry about them. They'll be conquered soon enough.
All right,
by the reptilian empire.
Soon enough.
Yeah, they're fine.
Okay, don't worry about those little guys. All right, so welcome to the show. Been a little bit. Glad to have you back, my friend. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your channel, and then let's get rocking with some of this stuff.
For sure. First off, thank you for having me, Mike. It's been a while since I've been back on the show. I used to be a temp co-host back on Troubled Minds. It all started with a phone call, with a call in, and helped. We've done a bunch of crazy subjects and topics over the years, and it's been a fun ride. I have my own YouTube channel, Ash the Reptilian from Mars. Feel free to subscribe. We talk about aliens mostly and all kinds of crazy stuff, the pyramids, disclosure. We're gonna get back on the horse there and put out some more content, and I'm just glad to be here, and
welcome back. Welcome back. So we've got a volunteer, by the way. When the invasion starts, James wants to be the first, so he wants you to know. Put his name on that list. So thanks for volunteering, James. You're the best, buddy. All right, so as we go tonight, like I was just describing before we had the uplink failure to Mars, now that it's solid, I guess Mars is on the correct side of the orbit, so we're good now. So the deal is this. There's these emails that kind of came out from WikiLeaks. This is way back in 2016. This is this was pre-election time, right? This was pre-Trump and all the rest of that stuff. He was still running for president, and the WikiLeaks dump actually had this particular email come out, which was compelling. We talked about this a long time ago, but not so in depth as this. It was more of like a cursory mention. And but if you guys don't remember, this happened. Let's see, when did this happen? We can probably go to this Snopes article to begin here to get the information. Or if you want to fill in here and maybe fill in some of the details here, Ash. I'm linking the email itself in the chat right now. But so this was WikiLeaks actually released these emails from John Podesta. These are known as the infamous John Podesta emails. And there was one particular email that stood out. Actually, not one. It was a string of emails. There were several. And they stood out because there's a lot of really weird, wacky stuff going on with this, including, that's right, they talk about benevolent, nonviolent ETI, which ETI, of course, means extraterrestrial intelligence. And then they have some other information here regarding something.
It's a more PC term, Mike, like, ETI. I think aliens, as Demi Lovato has mentioned, it's a derogatory term for beings. So ETI is a more, PC term. We're already there. We're already at that point. Yes, we haven't even seen him. We haven't talked to him. Yeah, but
I saw that.
We're
on that Stephen Greer
right
special.
label.
He was talking about racism and ETs and all the rest of that as well. Remember that? I don't know if you caught that part.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, whatevs. ETI, extraterrestrial intelligence. All right. Right in these emails to John Podesta, who of course was the campaign manager for Hillary Clinton. You remember that back in 2016. So the weird thing here is we have a notable person that has a government clearance, rubbing elbows with people at the highest level of power, and we have people sending him emails regarding things like this. Disclosure. Some buzzwords from this. We'll go through the email a little bit later as we go tonight. But talking about the contiguous universe, talking about the 0 point energy, talking about our space brothers and the rest of this stuff. I mean, literally right here in an email to John Podesta. I did link it if you guys are not familiar with this, but this is, like I said, this is kind of an old email, but there's a lot in here. And I think it's good to kind of circle back in some some instances to the past. And as new information comes out, you can kind of reframe some of the conversation with basically back to the emails here. There's a lot of stuff that's happened since 2016 in the disclosure world regarding a lot of things. I mean, you could look at Space Force, you could look at the Anjali thing, you could look at all kinds of different stuff that is kind of clunked out. TTSA actually happened after that, the whole ATIP and Lou Elizondo. So there's been, since this email hit, right, when it first came out, people were like, maybe, right? Like, you gotta be ODing on the maybe juice. But I don't know now, because now we have a whole bunch of different information that's come out since that kind of lines this up with maybe some I don't know, maybe you have to drink a little less maybe juice to get there now. So I don't know. So what were your thoughts on this, Ash, regarding these emails? I know this has been out for quite a while, but how about your thoughts then and your thoughts now? How have things changed?
Yeah. First off, great points. This email, one of the reasons I personally was interested in kind of touching back on this is just because like you mentioned, there is so much stuff in here. I mean, 0 point energy, space treaties, space race heating up, right? Like even that alone is what space race? What are they talking about? I don't know any space race right now. I mean, other than Elon Musk shooting satellites up into space. The fact that they even had a Skype talk and that they're preparing to talk to Obama and even Carol Rosen, who worked closely with Warner Brown, is in here. I mean, it's a email of all topics, so it's pretty interesting. And I think, like you said, there's been a lot that's happened. UFOs is officially a real thing, right? Like think about all the things that have happened, and parents, older individuals are sitting there watching UFO stories on Fox News now. Right. So things have changed. I think for UFO people, we want things to change faster. Right. We just, roll everything out. Let's just see it already. But so looking back and reaching back into the past and making those connections between this and the email, I think there's a lot to explore. So I don't really want to I could just go on for the next 2 hours, which I guess is the idea, right? That's what we're going to do. So there's a lot of stuff in here. It's really interesting. I mean, I have a quick verb about it. So basically, I'm actually going off Snopes. I did a bunch of research in Snopes. I don't usually give them credit because they can be really off base. I've literally fact checked them, and it was like really obvious they were going for an agenda. But Snopes officially has declared this, as you mentioned, Mike, a mixed response, right? A mixed true and false, which is pretty correct. There's some truth, and there's not, and we're gonna look at things we're gonna drink the woo-woo juice. And then we're going to purge our system, and we're going to look at it a little bit skeptically, and we're going to kind of go back and forth. And but again, number one, this is a conversation for you guys, right? This email has all sorts of topics and subjects and things in it. And if you know more about it or you want to talk about it, please call in, because there's going to be a lot of points where, if you're interested in that subject, please call in. And the more you learn this stuff, Mike, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. The more you learn, the less you know. The more I look at things, the less I'm like, I don't know, So I know of things, but I don't know. So that when you guys call in, it kind of helps ground us in certain areas, or for us to learn and for the audience to learn too. So please call in. And I guess I'll read this verb and then we'll kind of get into it. But so the verb is, on October 9th, 2016, WikiLeaks disclosed thousands of emails from personal account of Hillary Clinton's campaign director, John Podesta, also a former counselor to President Barack Obama. Among these files were 2 emails signed by former NASA astronaut Edgar D. Mitchell from the email address Terry Billionaires at AOL.com. That's sus right there, AOL.
Yeah, right. That's that must. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's a time traveling email, because I think AOL probably doesn't exist anymore. Just guessing. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, it's from 2016. Is email even still? I guess they support their email still. But yeah, so who's John Podesta was the campaign manager for President Barack Obama, and some of his quotes were, some of after serving Obama. Here are some quotes from John Podesta, just so you get an idea of kind of his mindset. The truth is still out there. Ongoing top Obama aide, John Podesta, reveals, and he says, during a 2002 press conference hosted by the Coalition of Freedom for Information, John Podesta declared, "It's time to find out what the truth really is." And he's been quoted as saying, not bringing the UFO stuff out was his biggest regret. In 2014. Which is your biggest regret. That was his biggest regret. So I wonder if, what his hot take is on everything that's going on with the UFO stuff and everything going on now. But yeah, he's been really into this subject for a while.
Yeah, I think it's notable too. So this is again from Snopes. Leaked emails show John Podesta discussed alien technology with former NASA astronaut. So the oddness here is, again, John Podesta, like What's Up Dagger Spells in the chat says, la la la, bad people. I think you can probably chalk that up to anybody at the top of the political spectrum here, because these guys are they're liars. I mean, that's what they do, right? A politician means you're a liar, and this guy's like a campaign manager for politicians. So he's like the liar that gives the politicians the lies to tell, right? He's like, this is your best line. This is the way to go to get us elected, right? So he's the one making up the lies for the campaigns. And so, I think all of this stuff is, it's coming from bad people. That's a good way to put it. What's Up Dagger Spells, shout out in the chat there. And I think that notably, again, if you look at this Snopes article, it says this, right? So the claim is this, and I use this for the little blurb when we started tonight. As Ash was saying, WikiLeaks dump of John Podesta's emails reveal conversations he had with the former NASA astronaut about the existence of aliens, alien technology, and space warfare. All right, now that's the claim. Now, what does Snopes say? Right? Usually they'd be like, nah, man, right? No, it says mixture. Mixture. It's kind of true, and it's also kind of not true, right? It's what they say. But anyway, it is notable and interesting, like Ash was saying, that Snopes is so in the bag for a particular party. I'll just let you figure out which one it is. That some of the things they've said over the years have been literally egregious. We've covered Snopes until we just got sick of covering Snopes. We're like, okay, there's no longer are they credible at all, because they're spinning stuff just like CNN and everybody else, and Fox News and everybody else, just to make everybody happy that it all sucks. And so the thing is this, right? Where does this lead? Is this a real thing? Was he really entertaining the idea of not just extraterrestrials, this contiguous universe? I'll read the email in just a sec. But 0-point energy and non-violent ETI, which would be extraterrestrial intelligence, right? So here we go. Let's read just a little bit of the email itself, so you guys know exactly what's going on here and what we're talking about. Now, this is from dated October 1st, 2014. Email for John Podesta for Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell requesting a meeting. Starts like this. Hugs, Aaron, ERYN. I'm not sure who this is, if this is his Aaron M. Sepp. Do you know who this is? It looks like maybe his handler, how you get to John Podesta. You go through this individual. Anyway, so he says, Hugs, Aaron. Dr. Edgar Mitchell asks that I write to Mr. Podesta and you requesting his meeting in Washington, D.C. with John to discuss disclosure and 0-point energy. As John is aware, more than 20 countries, including the Vatican, have released top-secret papers discussing extraterrestrial incidents on Earth over many years. The U.S. has not participated in disclosure yet. All right, and remember, this is all, we're talking about this kind of in a new light now, because we've had a lot happen since 2014, since 2016. All this has gone on with different Lou Elizondo's in the news. We've got Angelis saying there's aliens in the mountain base. A Space Force happened. We have the extraterrestrial report that just came out this summer. The government, again, acknowledges that UFOs are real. They don't know what they are, et cetera, so on, right? So there's a lot that has changed here. So think of it in the new terms on what we now know, what we didn't know in 2014. But then this continues. Because of his own background as a Catholic, we feel it is imperative that John be aware of the Vatican's interest in ETI, or extraterrestrial intelligence, in sustainability for our planet. Let's see where we at time-wise. We're good. The Vatican has hosted global seminars on the repercussions of humans interacting with ETI and how this will affect religion and consciousness. Oops. The Vatican's observatory is located here in Arizona, and its top astronomers, including Father Jose Funes, Funes, and Brother Guy Consalmagal, that guy, who have met with Pope Francis, have publicly stated that God's creation could very well include other intelligent life. And that would mean they are our brothers, all right? There's more to this. Let's see. How deep does this go? And it continues. We work with specific ETI from a contiguous universe. I'll get to that in just a sec. They are nonviolent and in complete obedience to God. Oh, boy. All right, so that's this email goes deeper. Like I said, it's probably that's about half of it right there. But okay, so the thing is this, right? We have this email coming to John Podesta talking about this stuff, and so the question is, right? Is this real? Is this stuff real? Like I said, we're doing the maybe juice thing and talking about this. But real quick, let's look at what contiguous universe might mean. So contiguous itself is this, straight from dictionary.com. It means this: touching or in contact, in close proximity without actually touching, being near, and also adjacent in time. So now we've got a contiguous universe, meaning what? Not this universe, but another universe. And we've talked about this in the past. We've talked about aliens not being from Alpha Centauri or something, being from maybe the next universe over, or who knows, something like this. So I don't know. Thoughts on that? We got about, let's say, 2 minutes before we go to break.
Yeah. Contiguous universe. That's a lot to take in just by itself. First off, that means that there are multiple universes. Does that mean dimensions? Does that mean gravity bubbled, floating spherical universes? And that these, either way, no matter what it is, the fact that if there are entities that can reach us from these distant points, their technology must be incredible, right? Like, it must be beyond imagination. And we do see evidence of that in FBI disclosed documents. There was one document that was talking about how they're a peaceful civilization from another dimension. So one of the interesting things I want to focus on a little bit is the language, right? When there's a consistency in language, there's a sort of an ideology behind it, per se. So, contiguous universe, different dimension, like, these are different ways of potentially saying the same thing, but whoever uses the more proper language potentially understands it a little bit better, or kind of is in the know, right? Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, if they sang in a certain way, contiguous universe, even searching that topic, it doesn't come up very often, or there's not a lot of volume on the internet. Anyway, we're getting into it. The show's for you guys to call in. If you're interested in this topic, call in, talk about it. But yeah, contiguous universe, interesting.
The next universe over. So we're going to get into that and some more of this stuff, 0 Point Energy, and more of this from this email. But as always, we'd love to hear from you guys. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. This is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. We're here with Ash the Reptilian tonight. Don't go anywhere. More Troubled Minds after the break. All right, welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and we're here tonight with Ash, the Reptilian from Mars. And we're streaming on Rockfin, DLive, YouTube, and Twitter. And currently, Fringe FM is down, but we're working on that behind the scenes. And we're taking your phone calls tonight, as usual. If you want to be part of the show, we're talking about aliens. We're talking about those Podesta email leaks back to 2016 and how they were discussing zero-point energy, benevolent ETI, which is extraterrestrial intelligence, and zero-point energy. If you want to be part of the show tonight, love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's something in between? Do you think it's maybe another game they're playing with us? We're, as always, you know us, we do take a hefty dose of the maybe juice. However, we're open to all interpretations of this. So you guys let us know, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. We'll put you on the show. Go to troubledminds.org. That's the official website. You can find the phone number right on top and the Discord link. Click that and get on in here, and you can talk to Ash and myself. Let's try and make our uplink to Mars, Earth to Mars. Ash, do you copy? Do you copy, buddy? Are you out there?
I copy. Hello. I'm still here.
Hello. All right, let's do it. So we were finishing with the contiguous universe bit. All right, so let's get back to that. Now, what does that mean? Like in terms of aliens and like not this universe, but the next universe over, right? And that could be, of course, string theory. If there's one, there's many. The many worlds theory. Okay. So if this is a thing, what does that mean as far as like aliens and where they come from?
Well, breaking it down, contiguous means next to, right? But if there was two universes, they would just say the other universe or the other dimension or whatever. So that's why I said this email, if explored, has a ton of ramifications. And now, before we get into this, let's just say that these are different entities within the government, potentially and potentially not within the know, right? Like, these are still people, they're still flawed. So we could be out in woo-woo land with there's no real 100% validation for any of this stuff, right? And that's something you just have to, you have to take in. On the other side of the foot, you have to take into consideration that John Podesta it was a high level of government, had influence on President Barack Obama, and Hillary Clinton at that time is running, and all this kind of stuff. So it is a somewhat higher level of government. So, take those two things. Okay, now that I've said that, contiguous universe, the universe next to ours, that means there are universes that aren't next to ours, right? That means that there's universes maybe next to theirs. And this gets into a whole thing of, does this explain, is there like a multiple dimension kind of dimensionality to reality? Look at Skinwalker Ranch. Is it of immense interest to billionaires who have connections to the military-industrial complex, and also I believe that supposedly the military was doing experiments there. I mean, someone even saw TR-3B land. That was the claim. A TR-3B was cloaked and sitting off to the side, observing them like this hapless family in this area. And the idea behind that area is like weird crap happened there, right? And that's because it's like the veil between dimensions or whatever. So we keep seeing this like idea, this concept pop up that they're like phasing in and out of our dimension, and that's how their technology works. That's how they're able to travel through space, and that's where they like live. And that potentially they're like, they are among us, but they just phase in and out. I don't know if these things are true, but this is wild. Just like, that wouldn't be my default thought. It's what's that show, Sliders, right? What's that old show, Sliders, where they're going between dimensions, and that was back in that day, around that time period. If the government kind of was pushing stuff into Hollywood, there's like a little blimp of potentially them really embracing this idea back then. And a lot of these documents, these secret stuff, come from there. So yeah, this whole idea of like another dimension, contiguous universe, and the one that's like right next to us, that means like there are dimensional universal neighbors. I mean, this stuff is wild. And it would explain the lapse in our physics that can fully understand these UFOs. Because now we could say there are UFOs, and they do crazy, wild stuff out there in our atmosphere. Maybe this is the link to the missing gap of our understanding of reality. Yeah, I don't know. I know you've done a little research into this subject, Mike. I'm just kind of like, my brain explodes just even thinking about it.
Yeah, and like we've always said that one thought for UFOs and extraterrestrials and things like this is that they come from our universe, and as we know, our universe is huge, and even we're talking without wormholes and this type of advanced sort of propulsion, which who knows, maybe 0-point energy is part of that. We'll get to that in a bit here. But maybe without that sort of super advanced propulsion, that just the size of our universe is prohibitive to interstellar travel. It would take millions of years type stuff to get from one side to the other. So I don't know. Like it makes sense to me. The most sense to me is regarding extraterrestrials, as they do come from some parallel reality, some different dimension, and they're here. They're right on top of us. And so the travel doesn't have to be far at all. It's just, you kind of just dip over into the next universe and you're like, hey, what's up? We're here. And, I think that would explain a lot too regarding just the basics of how people see UFOs, right? Some of the more compelling UFO things seem to not have, like Lou Elizondo said, flight surfaces. They seem to not have, obvious propulsion mechanisms like we would expect, wings, things like this, right? And they defy our physics, our known physics. And so that, if you wrap it all up into just the one idea of, okay, well, if we see these UFOs and why are they always blurry? Like that's the the science UFO trope is like, well, if everybody has a phone in their pocket, how come nobody has a clear photograph of a UFO? Well, I mean, if they're phasing in and out from another damn dimension,
I never even thought about that.
Well, would you see nuts and bolts on these things? You know what I mean? It seems like it would be blurry. It seems like it would be maybe in a phase shift sort of situation, right? If they're kind of bending space-time and traveling dimensions, who knows, right? So I don't. That's my theory anyway. That if this is really happening, that's the most likely thing to be happening. So when I read this, like being a conspiracy guy, being a guy that talks about aliens on the regular, it doesn't surprise me, right? Hearing the term contiguous universe, but then you put it into an email going to John Podesta, and that's something entirely different. So now, to be fair, so what else is in this? Okay, so before we get to back to this email and John Podesta and the rest of this stuff, what do you think then, Ash? What about this dimensional stuff? I mean, we've talked about this in the past quite a lot with the, now they're talking about benevolent ETIs, nonviolent. And so we talked about the Galactic Federation and all kinds of crazy stuff. So now, if this is true, the contiguous universe part, it kind of doesn't really change anything, right? It maybe starts to validate some of those things if that term is true, if that idea is true, and some of our, quote, elites or whatever you want to call them are actually kicking this idea around.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if you guys have ever seen that meme of the guy from It's Always Sunny, and he's got all these like papers on the wall. It's a conspiracy theory meme, and he's got like all these like red dots on there, and he looks crazy, and he's like explaining something. That's kind of like how it is in my head. I'm just keeping track of all these concurrent things, right? And this email is kind of tough because there's so much stuff in here into tangent. It's like where do we even stay in the lane, right? Like multi-universes, the Vatican, like it's just every crazy thing all in one. It's a really mind-blowing sort of like a string of text. Basically, it's just words, but it's insane. So with the contiguous universe, there's we just see so much evidence of not fully understanding our reality and how UFOs behave. You mentioned, taking shots of them. And if you look, there's like UFOs will like literally blip in and out of existence. And there's all this weird behavior that could be explained by this ability. And you mentioned the vastness of space. Unless we figure out some sort of cheat code to the physics of reality, we can't overcome that distance. So we need something like that. So it just makes a lot of sense. And again, this is like, what level is the government involved? What do they know? And do these beings originate from there? Do they live there? Do they just use it? Do they just slip into that dimension to keep themselves safe. I don't know, but there's all these narratives and about the alien beings, who they are, what they are. But this email does mention benevolent. Basically, it comes from this woman called Terry Billionaires, who has a website. Let me scroll down here. TerryMansfield.com. So Terry's Mansfield, and you said to this, so I'm gonna mention it. We educate. Here's a quote from her website, TerryMansfield.com. Our mission. Okay, and so this was Edgar Mitchell, an astronaut, previous astronaut, communicating through her email, right? Which is kind of like already a little weird. And Snopes picked up on this. But on their website, it says this: our mission. We educate humans about our work with 100% nonviolent, obedient to God ETI, extraterrestrial intelligence. From the contiguous universe, there's that word again, whose mission is to work with our scientists to bring zero-point energy here for the purpose of extending life on our fragile Earth. Yeah. So it's a lot there. And so apparently this woman is influencing or working with Edgar Mitchell. He unfortunately he did pass away. Edgar, I'll talk about Edgar. I have some info on Edgar, but yeah, this is kind of the mission statement, and that they only work with this non-violent ETI, and they claim that these ETI keeps in check the extraterrestrials in our universe from basically overrunning us. And if you know, I'm into the remote viewing community, and there's this the Farsight Institute. Those remote viewers, that conglomerate of people can come to the conclusion that there are reptilians and Orions, and that they salivate over the idea of like owning Earth completely and doing whatever they want with it. But they're kept in check by another faction, which is the real Galactic Federation of Worlds. That's their narrative, and that actually lines up with this, right? That the Galactic Federation, or whoever that third party is more advanced or beyond access to those reptilians, to those beings. They're like, and they keep those beings in check. So there is a little bit of parallel there. I don't know. I haven't heard the whole obedience to God alien thing. You don't see that narrative too often, where the aliens worship God and we should work with them. They're like, but it's kind of like the religious idea that they're angels, right? They serve God. They're angels, and actually, reptilians are supposedly negative, right? Not myself, of course. And not me. I mean, if I got a chance,
all the rest of them suckers, yes, but not this one right here, right?
Not this.
There's always an exception. Always an exception.
Not lack of trying, just lack of.
Right. I do like that you brought up this fact too. So it says in his email again. So this is a WikiLeaks email to John Podesta from Edgar Mitchell through this individual by the name of Terry Billionaires. Billion ARAIR. What's her real last name? Terry
Mansfield.
Yeah, I think it's Mansfield. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so now they also note that these we work with specific ETI from a contiguous universe. They are non-violent and in complete obedience to God. So interestingly, we have not just this particular thing going with ETs, ETI, extraterrestrial intelligence, but now that we're talking about the Vatican in this email. We're talking about how these ETIs are actually non-violent and have complete obedience to God. It's a little bit. This goes. I don't know. Like, it kind of makes you go, wait, what? Like, how does this work? Yeah.
Exactly.
Did our churches here go intergalactic? I mean, what the hell's happening? I'm confused. Right? You figure they would worship something else, but I guess if there's only one God, I guess we're fine there. It's all fine here now. All right, so I don't know. I think, like I said, reading some of this, it starts to make you feel like something's up, something's amiss, something's out of place here, and I don't know. So I don't know. You tell me. So regarding that, you brought it up, the obedience to God, this nonviolent ETI. What is that about? What is going on with that? By the way, we'd love to hear from you guys as well before we do. Ash, hold on one moment. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. Put you on the show, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. Go right ahead. Nonviolent ETI having complete obedience to God. What in the world, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But I mean, if you look at the I don't mean it itself, these people are nuts. I'm just saying the idea is nuts, right? So let me actually, so if you go to their website, let me read this. The first thing you see, ETI versus Celestial. That's already a tall class, but I'll read this real quick from the Terry Mansfield website, which is where Edgar Mitchell's email came from. So the ETI, extraterrestrial intelligence, with whom Suzanne and Terry work, are peaceful, nonviolent, and obedient to God. They are not from our universe, but from a contagious universe. Contagious. They are the highest form of intelligence working directly with God. Their purpose is to assist us humans who are eager to bring powerful, safe, clean, cheap, sustainable, ambiguous, infinite zero-point energy application as the energy source to our viable Earth. This ZPE energy, zero-point energy, is centered on the tau neutrino. I know neutrinos they just go right through everything. They're like crazy. Anyway, I'll keep going. When ETI want to make themselves known, they do so with specific color, sound, touch, scent, taste, and manipulation of matter. Examples abound. They frequently turn on lights in our homes when they want our attention. ETI want only what is best for humanity to evolve spiritually, to demand obedience given by free will choice, respond with compassion and or justice when required. Celestials, on the other hand, overseen by our ETI, are all the extraterrestrial entities in our universe. Like ours, like them pointing at ours, right? Us. Who resonate intelligently higher than humans, but still in varying degrees of violence depending on whom they are interacting. Celestials mirror humans. According to Suzanne, ETI intelligence, due to full obedience to God, surpasses celestial guidance, which has long ago evolved past and helps mitigate. I guess if you know the different woo circles, there's the one where there's different frequency of vibration that you can resonate with, or you can occupy. Basically, your vibrational level, you basically phase in and out. Look, kind of like someone mentioned. I think the Night Stalker mentioned, kind of like music, where there's different frequencies that you can resonate at, and that's kind of where you live or you exist. And that if you work on yourself, you resonate and vibrate at higher frequencies, you can tune into these dimensions, and that any entity in our dimension or our universe, I'm interested that they use the word universe instead of dimension. That has its own ramifications. But anyway, that in our universe would be limited to this vibration, that everyone here, we're all in the same pool and we all kind of suck together. And that they've overcome that, and that they manage this dimension or this universe. That's a lot to take in. And the fact that there's a God at the other end, of the tier of the hierarchy. It's like boom, right?
Yeah, I like interesting the term too is that they use ETI, again, extraterrestrial intelligence versus celestials. And so celestials, actually, if you kind of threw that term in a blanket in a vacuum statement to somebody without any context, and you said, what's a celestial, right? Like as an entity, people would probably tell you, angels or things like this, the cherubim or whatever it was, right? Like this type of thing. And so when they use the two in conjunction like that, and James also points out in the chat, when you put it in terms like this with ETI, different dimension stuff, in league or working closely with these celestials, it does seem like they're ghosts of sorts, right? It seems like they're, like I always say, maybe all of this stuff, all the woo, not that it's all one thing, but that as people, our definitions are so sloppy that it could be some of these same things just kind of recurring, and we don't know what to call them based on when they happen or whatever, right?
Like the soul, ghosts, interdimensions, universe. It's all. I mean, it is fundamentally all part of reality. In that, if we don't really, even our labels are ignorant because we don't really fully understand it, and that, like, by peeking into this more advanced world, we're seeing. It's like you try to, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be logical. I'm gonna look out in space. It's big. I'm gonna look at aliens, and then all of a sudden you're back to, like, Woo Land, souls and different that, and you're like, what the heck? How did I end up back here? Right? And that it's all just something we don't understand. It's like, yeah, crazy. Keep going. Sorry. Good point.
No, you're good. So, and I think that's the weirdness of this, is that if it is, if it's kind of like sloppy labeling by people over even thousands of years, right? Because, you get the ancient alien guys that are saying, well, that they weren't seeing angels, they were seeing extraterrestrials. Hallelujah, right? Whatever's going on with that. Ancient astronaut theorists say yes. I don't know. I mean, sure, maybe, but again, what if there's both? Like, what if there is, flesh and blood ETs and there's angels, right? I mean, I'm also open to that idea as well. I don't know how this works. Is, again, it's beyond us. It's beyond most mortal people. We don't really understand, but we're trying to, and I think that's what this conversation is all about. So I don't know. So what we're talking about, if you're just joining us, is this. Back in 2014, an email was sent by Edgar Mitchell, a now passed away astronaut, one of the Apollo astronauts that actually set foot on the moon. He actually sent an email through this individual by the name of, let's see, what is it? It is, let me find it again. It is Terry Billionaires at AOL, Billionaires, but her actual name is, let me find this, unless you beat me to it. What is this? Hold on. It's here somewhere. There we go. It is Terry and Suzanne. Is it Suzanne? Terry Mansfield. Terry Mansfield is who we're talking about here. Sorry. So Terry Mansfield is the individual. So Edgar Mitchell sent this through her email, supposedly, to John Podesta to set up a meeting regarding disclosure, ETI, which is extraterrestrial intelligence, and 0 point energy, and considering that they may be from a contiguous universe. And that's what we're talking about tonight. That's the weirdness, and as always, we're looking to hear from you. We're here with our good buddy Ash, and we're talking about weird stuff like we tend to do. So if you want to be part of the show tonight, we're still taking your phone calls. We got a couple hours to go yet. One more hour radio style, then we'll have a third hour completely without commercials and just get together and talk. And that's what this is all about. So if you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. I'm Michael Strange. We're here with our good friend Ash the Reptilian from Mars. And we're talking about aliens, 0 point energy, Wikileaks, John Podesta, and of course, you. Don't go anywhere. More Troubled Minds after the break. The alien abduction phenomenon.
The aliens are looking through your eyes and they're accessing your optic nerve. I'm doing fantastic. And through that optic nerve, they're transferring to your brain. People are going random images as they traverse neurons in the brain.
So all right. So maybe,
and they also feel them planting.
Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness.
All right, good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and we're here tonight with your co-host, Ash the Reptilian from Mars. And we'd like to say hello to all of you who may also have troubled minds. All right, we're doing this a little different, or a little bit the same, and we're talking about all the things we're not allowed to talk about, which, of course, are aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, the government, academia, the 24-hour news cycle, propaganda, and the general feeling that we live in the upside down. We're taking your phone calls tonight as we talk about, in 2014, an email was sent by a deceased astronaut now, he passed away in 2016, by the name of Edgar Mitchell, sent through a particular email to John Podesta, talking about a contiguous universe, extraterrestrial intelligence, benevolent style, and of course, zero-point energy. And so we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think this is a bunch of BS? Do you think this is actually something worth considering as real? What in the world is really going on out there? And why did it go through John Podesta's email chain and get released by Wikileaks? Kind of makes you scratch your head and wonder what this world really is about. So if you want to be part of the show tonight, we're here with Ash again, and the phone number to call is 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link at troubledminds.org and join us that way. And if you haven't yet, the Discord is a great way to just join and meet great people. It's a chat room. It's a voice client. It's lots of things. You can share videos and screenshots and pictures and just chat it up. And also what we talk about voice on voice most times after the show. A lot of people get together and just kind of keep chopping it up about all kinds of things. So there you go. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org. Let's see if we can get our uplink to Mars back in style here. Let's go beep beep. I forgot my sound effect. Earth to Mars. Boop, boop. Beep, Ash, beep, beep, Ash, beep, you beep, copy. Beep, boop, boop. All right, there you go. We got the uplink seems to be absolutely fine. At least I've got a nice solid echo. What's going on, Ash? How you doing, buddy?
What's up? How are you guys doing today?
Hey-okay, buddy. Hey-okay. All right, so we're talking about this Podesta stuff. You want to kind of recap this just for folks that may be kind of, as radio people kind of come and go. You want to recap this Podesta stuff and some of the things they're talking about, super quick style, and then we'll get into more of this and maybe the Celestials in particular.
Yeah, great. First off, I heard myself a little bit during the thing. I heard myself talking about aliens accessing the optic nerve. I was like, dang, I sound crazy. But I'm glad I was muted. I was laughing really hard. So shout outs to Rohan. Rohan.
Yeah. The mighty Rohan.
Yes,
he made that mashup for us. So thank you. That's it's very good. It's very good. But yes, aliens, cool. they access your mind and your optic nerves. Yeah, you do sound crazy, Ash. But that's okay. That's why we love you. Go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds good. I think I'm being like, I think I'm understanding stuff. And then you hear it on the other end, like, well, maybe I just sound crazy. I don't know. But anyway, it's pretty great. Thanks for doing that. Ron sent me some stuff too, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, we're talking about leaked emails during the 2016 WikiLeaks leaked John Podesta's emails. He was the campaign director for Hillary Clinton's campaign at the time. There was a couple other things that happened with those leaked emails. Or WikiLeaks leaked Tom DeLonge. That's where we kind of knew he was communicating with insiders in the government. And a lot of stuff came from this time period. I mean, and this was sort of a start of a crazy ride of like Trump, the 2016 campaign, all that stuff, but also the UFO stuff and disclosure. And it was just, we couldn't even I remember, Mike, we couldn't even keep up, right, with all this stuff going on. It was a pretty nutty time. So we're looking back at this time, and we're looking at this email that came from Dr. Edgar Mitchell, who was he's currently deceased. He passed away in 2016, but a NASA astronaut who was connected to some potentially woo circles, you could call it, but he was reaching out to John Podesta and was trying to get have a conversation started about aliens and space treaties and the Vatican and all sorts of stuff. So we're glossing through this email right now, and we're picking it apart. We got parallel universes and all kinds of stuff going on. So 0 point energy, fascinating, interesting topic. And it's up to you to decide, what you believe is real, or if you're just entertained. And we'd like to hear from you and see what you guys think as we go through this information, as we go through each point. And any of these things sound interesting to you and you got something to say, call in, break the seal. And we'd love to hear from you.
We got James on deck. We're going to go to get James in just a second here from Salcedo Paranormal. But yeah, so this email got sent, it got leaked, and of course they're talking about a few things here. Like I said, it's to John Podesta, who again is rubbing elbows with the most powerful people in the world. Barack Obama with Hillary Clinton. Of course, she was running for president in 2016. We all know how that shook out. In an alternate universe, she's president, I'm sure still. But here, that's not the case. They had something went off the rails, and there's been speculation about that. But that's for another show. But in this case, they talk about literally a extraterrestrial intelligence, nonviolent extraterrestrial intelligence from a contiguous universe is the words they use, meaning a parallel dimension. That's what this means, not from this universe, okay? But if they're visiting us and they're here, well, they're coming from somewhere. They're coming from this alternate reality, alternate something. And so not only that, right? So we have nonviolent ETIs from a contiguous universe. They're talking about 0 point energy. They're talking about the war in space is heating up. I mean, there's a lot of spicy stuff in like this email, and it's not that long. I'll just burn through it real quick so you can see if you guys are watching on the stream here. This is how long this thing is, right? It just goes boom. That's it. It's done. So, but they got it's so short, but it's got so many spicy terms in here that it kind of makes you scratch your head, like, what's going on? Now, notably, too, Snopes covered this pretty well, like Ash was saying. And one thing that they did note, and it's true, is there didn't seem to be a written response from Podesta back to these individuals that sent the email. But I think the interesting part about that is I don't think you would, right? Like, wouldn't you say, okay, make a phone call, my people are going to get with your people, we'll set you up with that meeting or whatever, Like, if you get something so spicy fall in your lap like that in an email, you're not going to, like, anybody with half a brain knows you're not going to type that back and send it. So I don't know, like, there's that's the thing. But then also, this is the type of stuff they would use burn bags for, right? They wouldn't send an email anyway. So if this is real, maybe somebody made a mistake sending it to him. If it's not, maybe they're just making shit up. And that's just the way it is, right? Who knows? I don't know. But again, like I said, this is not for us to decide. This is for you to decide. We're just kind of looking at this as a, drinking the maybe juice and doing our thing here. So again, if you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Anything to add to that real quick, Ash, before we go to James?
No, good point. Yeah, supposedly they're supposed to hop on a Skype call. I think that was like a schedule thing. So there was a sort of commitment. And John Podesta did mention his biggest regret was not bringing the UFO subject out. And he did talk about it. Hillary Clinton did also talk about it on Jimmy Kimmel, all this kind of stuff. And she even was reframing the word of UFO into the aerial phenomenon, right? And so there was a lot of rumor that her campaign and all this hype scared the GBs out of the Pentagon, and the reason that we have UFO stuff now is because they were trying to get ahead of Hillary, but that kickstarted it all anyway. So there's a rumor that one of the reasons disclosure doesn't come out is because they're going to look like a-holes, basically, and it's sort of a hot potato of whose fault it was, right? And so if you come out and if you say it before they drag it out of you, at least that looks a little bit better. So supposedly that was the case. I don't know. Maybe this was part of that. Maybe this is just some crazy people getting far in government. Mick West was mentioning that there's basically an infection of craziness going through the government, and that's what he thinks everything is. Mick West, the party pooper. Boo, Mick West. But
Siegel, Mick West. The Tic Tacs are Seagulls, Mick West of Siegel fame.
Yeah, that's crazy. But you know what? You got to have these party poopers because you got to keep people in check, And if he sounds ridiculous, then okay. Like, he sounds ridiculous. If it makes sense, he makes sense. And that's kind of it. But yeah, let's get to James.
Yeah.
sure.
Just we're going to do that real quick on Mick West. If you don't have people going trying to find prosaic explanations for some of this stuff, then what are we doing here? What are we doing? We need people like that. So here we go. Let's go to our good friend James Salcedo of Salcedo Paranormal. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you tonight? You're on with Mike and Ash.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here.
Pleasure.
And
yeah. You are going to, so now you've not only volunteered to do the Ouija board solo to contact the alien invasion, you're the point man when they come. You're the person we're going to talk to first, am I right? This was the James I was picking on earlier. James is a great sport, so I like to give him a hell of a time. So go right ahead, sir. I'm sorry. Just making fun.
Yeah, no problem. What's interesting about that website that you were all reading from earlier, that's kind of where my mind is stuck right now, because there are several, there's every so often you hear about cases of UFO contactees, abductees, who then have other paranormal activities in their home, such as poltergeist-like things where things are moving. Turning on and off sounds very similar. Of course, that could be written off to wiring or whatever, but it just seems interesting that there could be a connection between all of that and the stuff that I'm more familiar with. That's why I had to call it, because that's an interesting idea. Not that I'm saying, I know or that they know or anything like that, but that's just, that connection I think is there.
Yeah, and again, you were actually making a connection to not just this ETI from like other dimensions to the paranormal, as maybe this is like we were describing earlier. Everything's been mislabeled, and we're juggling all these things that we don't understand. And maybe when everything gets reclassified 1,000 years from now, it may be simpler. It may be just a few names, or it may be infinitely more complex, and we may need 1,000 names to kind of really clarify all this stuff. Who knows? And that's why we're talking about it, right? Talking about it in terms of woo, in terms of the paranormal and the rest of the stuff. Who the hell really knows, right? Who the hell really knows? So we were going to get to celestials. I don't know if you brought that up in the chat there. Is that one of the veins you kind of wanted to mine here? The ETIs versus celestials is what that website was talking about. And some people were talking about in the chat about celestials from the comics, right?
Yeah, I did. I shared the link to the Wikipedia page, and then surprisingly, it seems like Wikipedia is actually decent at talking about comic book history, which is weird, given everything else that they may not be so good about reporting on or whatever. But they're basically a race of ancient and super powerful extraterrestrial intelligences, I guess would be the right word, since the other word now is politically incorrect, according to I forgot her name now, but
Demi Lovato.
Yes.
Gotcha. Demi Lovato.
So, but yeah, and they come up here in the comics. Every so often in the comics, they're mainly more associated with the big cosmic events and things. What they also, I remember one thing from the comics is that they basically use planets as like giant eggs to make more of them.
Okay, and what the hell does that mean? So they're not born of flesh and blood. It's like Greek mythology, like Aphrodite washing up in the sea foam sort of thing. They're kind of created through something else, some other process. That's weird, man.
Yes, because if I'm not mistaken, they're the bodies that you see, like in the picture I shared earlier in the article. Those are basically just shells that contain enormous amounts of energy, and so they will put some of their own energy inside a world. Then the thing is, as these things they develop, destroys the world.
Oh, crazy!
And that also, I'll be one more thing and I'll be done. But that also gets back to the whole idea of Galactus in the comics, who supposedly eats worlds.
Yeah, is Galactus a Celestial? Is he actually part of that tribe or whatever this is?
No, he is like the universe's natural way of basically killing these things before they are born. He's basically like the natural predator almost, in a way.
Okay, interesting. And that's why he's destroying worlds, to try and get these Celestials. Okay. So if you guys don't know, in Marvel Comics, Galactus is actually known as the World Eater, I believe is what they call him. And he devours planets. He's been doing this, and he just travels the universe devouring planets as part of what he does. I didn't realize he was actually like sort of an extermination force for the Celestials themselves. That's amazing, man. So oddly enough, this email is coming from people that are talking about Celestials working for the ETI, for the extraterrestrial intelligence. What do you think about that connection?
That's very interesting. I wonder just how many ETI does it? I forget. Does it say multiple ETI or does it just say one?
I think they're multiple. I think this one's benevolent, but there are others, of course.
Okay.
Like a faction of them, like a group of them, I guess.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't know what to make of that, but it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, companies hire people to do things for them. So, could be some kind of massive version of that, for whatever reason.
Well, you mentioned Celestials are created. My thought was like maybe Celestials are like recruited per se, that maybe you can only get to that tier to work with those guys if you're a good boy or girl, right? And that maybe they're, I don't know, they say this in religions, as you move up you can eventually join God and his angels, right? So if reincarnation is real, if you're here and you're learning, eventually, if you keep going up, you graduate, and then you become, you can escape this universe that they talk about, and maybe you can join the Celestials and help manage this place. I mean, that's actually a smart system. That makes sense, right? But
it's interesting, yeah.
So, Celestials, there's a lot of parallel in comics. They have a lot of some good stuff in them.
Yeah, I haven't been able to read them now for several years, but I was big into them growing up. My vision has been changing, which is why I don't read them now. But yeah, no, I was really interesting stuff there. The further back you go, especially, but even now, but yeah, definitely interesting stuff. So, but that's all I wanted to call in about. But very interesting show.
Thank you very much, James. You're the best. James has a podcast, by the way. Everybody go follow James. You can find him at Salcedo Paranormal. Links are down below, both on Rockfin and on YouTube. Don't have to look too far. Just scroll down, and you could also just Google him. Salcedo is spelled Salsido, Paranormal. Thanks, James. You're the best. He'll be on the show tomorrow, actually, won't you, James?
Yep.
You want to preview
talking
that?
About
preview that just a little
doors bit? And basically doors and portals and different kinds of doors. Maybe even doors you can't even see. Yeah.
Paranormal doors and portals. That's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, and James will be on the show. So thanks so much for participating. Thanks for being on the show tonight. Thanks for being on the show tomorrow in advance. I'm going to time travel to tomorrow and tell you thank you for tomorrow. And James, you're the best. Have a fantastic night.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother. All right, so we're going to keep on trucking here, talking about all the weirdness, right? All this stuff, the leaked emails from Podesta through WikiLeaks. And again, so when you follow these kind of rabbit holes, you end up with, the contiguous universe. You're talking about, benevolent extraterrestrial intelligences. You're talking about zero-point energy, which we haven't got to at all. We're going to get to that after the last break here. And then we get to this Celestials. Like, what is going on with Celestials here? A little bit strange and odd that, if you pull up the Wikipedia here, the Celestials actually debuted in the Marvel Comics in 1976. So as we've always said, right, nothing kind of new under the sun. That these are just kind of these same ideas regurgitated over and over, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, if you look back in ancient religions and then, you look at advanced physics these days, there's parallels between the ideas and the concepts. And, ultimately we're in a system and there are rules and it is what it is. And, humans, we're flawed creatures. We can't fully comprehend everything and we don't know everything. And I don't know if we're meant to, but, there are different words for the same stuff, and or maybe we misinterpret it for a few thousand years, or maybe get it right for a few thousand years, And I think that we should. I think that we definitely, science has brought us into our modern era, and science is fantastic, right? We're all talking on this podcast because of science, because of the things it brings, but we also have to accept that there's stuff we don't understand, and that we just maybe can't understand ever, and that all these loose terms or these religions, pretty much, kind of it is what it is, and if you knew the nuts and bolts behind it, your brain would explode, and maybe that's where these celestials live, and maybe their brains can hold it together, right? And it's all kind of crazy stories of paranormal. James mentioned this is a great point. Whenever there's aliens, there's also a paranormal element to it, right? Like we were mentioning the Skinwalker Ranch and stuff like that. And maybe this contiguous universe, these sort of rules that we don't understand, this is where those things exist, and come along with it. If my dog gets into a car, he may not know how it works or why, but every time he gets in my car, he smells exhaust. He doesn't know what that is, but he knows that's part of it, right? So maybe it's something like that. I don't know. I'm not very good at analogies.
I'm not either. That's okay. So we're winding down to the bottom of the hour here, about to take a break. So we're talking about this stuff, guys. We're talking about, again, these WikiLeaks. Now again, so this was back in 2016 when these actually leaked, the Podesta emails, if you guys remember, all that pre-election jazz, which of course they shut down. They didn't allow to happen for the second election, but we can't talk about that because they'll shut us down, oddly enough. But what this is we're revisiting this because there's been a ton of things happen since 2016 and these emails leaked. Again, the contiguous universe, the benevolent extraterrestrial intelligence, the zero-point energy, and the rest of this stuff. We've had this disclosure process. We've had Lou Elizondo. We've had the government report on not just the UFOs, but remember, we've kind of called that the nothing burger or whatever else was going on. But there's a lot that's changed in the last 4 years on this, 4 or 5, 6 years. And so it's good to kind of revisit some of these things with what we know now. And so we're looking at this with a critical eye once again, and we're looking to hear from you. If you want to be part of the show tonight, I'm Michael Strange. We're here with Ash the Reptilian from Mars. This is Troubled Minds. You can reach us at 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. Don't go anywhere. More Troubled Minds after the break. All right, welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and tonight we're here with our co-host, Ash the Reptilian from Mars. And we're streaming on DLive, Rockfin, YouTube, and Twitter, and we're taking your phone calls. As we talk about, the John Podesta emails, zero-point energy, contiguous universe, benevolent extraterrestrial intelligence. What the hell does all this mean? We're going to get to zero-point energy in a minute here. But what are your thoughts on this? If you have a question, you have a thought on this, anything at all, you guys know us. We take these conversations in all kinds of crazy different ways. So we're open to your interpretation of this. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And let's keep on trucking. Let's do it. Welcome back. Let's try and get our uplink back to Mars. Beep, beep. Ash, do you copy? Ash, are you there?
Over. Reptilian in.
Nice. All right. Welcome back. All right. So we're gonna talk about zero-point energy here in just a sec. But we do have a phone call coming in. Please confirm, Daryl, that you're ready to be on the show in the chat, and we'll bring you on in a sec. But let's get into zero-point energy just a little bit here, and then we'll go to Daryl after that. So what is this zero-point energy stuff? Any idea? I got some stuff on it if you didn't get it prepped. You tell me.
I don't really know too much about it. I know it's like the holy grail of energy because with energy how it is, energy takes some sort of input and then it has an output, right? So my language is terrible. I don't know the actual term. So if there's some academic out there, you feel free to call in and tell me how dumb I am.
Smack us down. Smack us down. We're looking to get
to correct the record, right?
Yeah, totally. All right, so this is from Wikipedia. Let's do this. And so 0-point energy is the lowest possible energy that a quantum mechanical system may have. Unlike in classical mechanics, quantum systems constantly fluctuate in their lowest energy state as described by the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. We've talked about that often. As well as atoms and molecules, the empty space of the vacuum has these properties. According to quantum field theory, the universe can be thought of not as isolated particles, but continuous fluctuating fields, matter fields whose quanta are fermions, and force fields whose quanta are bosons. All these fields have 0-point energy. Now, what does all that mean? Well, it means that there's 0-point energy is, like Ash described, it is the holy grail of, if we can find this 0-point energy, it's not exactly what Tesla talked about, but it's a similar vein right there, meaning that it's almost free energy. If we can access it's kind of like tapping into the sun. All right, that would be a ton of free energy through a different mean, right? If we could, if there's only some way to harness the power of the sun, right? Wink, wink. But instead, we're talking about 0-point energy here, which is it's a way to basically not need fossil fuels or any of the old archaic ways that we've derived energy over the past few hundred years as we went through burning coal and all the rest of this crap to what's going on now. Nuclear power, even that's dangerous by comparison to this 0-point energy stuff. So, they from the fictional universe, they talk about it in Stargate Atlantis and some of these other places, but it is in like actual technical terms, it's a real thing. Just how we get there is supposed to be some sort of exotic energy. I don't know. What's up? Carry Out in the chat says 0-point energy is a vibration in a vacuum. There you go. So that's what we're talking about. So if you can access that through the space in between the molecules, basically in between the atoms, is what I mean. Then you're able to harness that energy. So that's kind of what this is about. Daryl, are you okay? Daryl's ready. Cool. So your thought on that, Ash, regarding again the Podesta emails. They bring up disclosure, these benevolent ETIs, contiguous universe, and of course 0-point energy, and that the ETs are actually ready to give us this technology. Pretty wild there, huh?
Yeah, it is pretty wild. Yeah, so the 0-point, I know that the one idea is that like all our energy sources, you have to consume something to get an output, basically. And that this would basically all the good things, like it doesn't have waste, doesn't do all that. Supposedly that, like that one commentator said, there in the vacuum of space, there's a movement. There's this movement in nothingness that we see that we can't really interact with. That if you, this is one idea. I don't know if this is exactly what they were talking about, because they were talking about some neutrino stuff I've never heard of. But yeah, it's basically like capturing that wind sail, right? Like it's wind, and that we can capture it, and that in that vacuum we can just harvest energy, basically, like the momentum of that infinitely. It's an infinite source. It's everywhere. It's all around. And Stephen Greer talks about this as he talks about half the stuff we end up talking about. But it's just one, like a cup full of this supposed movement of whatever it is, this field that we can access. You could power like the world or a city or something like that. So anyway, that's what I've heard about it. So that with the extraterrestrials, based on that, we did hear that the remote viewer said this, and I've heard this like in 15 other places, that different extraterrestrial groups came to our government around the 50s and 60s and negotiated with them. We wanted stuff, right, from them. That's supposedly the thing. They wanted technology, which would explain the X-Files and UFOs, right? And that the good ones were like, nah, you're a jerk. You need to stop being a jerk and stop wars and stuff, and then we'll help you. And then we were like, okay, we'll go with the jerks. And we went with the jerk ETs, and they gave us what we wanted, but we've been kind of in this bad agreement ever since.
Which again is a whole different show, whole different thing there. So we're talking about 0 point energy and the rest of this stuff, these Podesta emails. Again, in light of what we learned in the past 6 years since this leak, has it changed? Has your idea on what this information actually has changed at all? So let's go to our good friend Daryl in New York. Daryl, welcome to the show.
We're talking about 0 point energy and the rest of this stuff, these Podesta emails. Again, in light of what we learned in the past 6 years.
There we go. All right. So whenever you're ready, Daryl, just unmute or mute us up on the stream there. I know it's hard to do on one device all at the same time because there's a delay. But just mute us on the device, and then I'll bring you back on the show in just a sec. But yeah, so we're taking your phone calls, guys, if you want to be part of this conversation tonight. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. You can go to troubledminds.org, the official website. Click the Discord link, and we'll put you on the show. Let's see. Let's go to Daryl. Daryl, test 1, 2. Do you copy?
Think so. Am I here?
Perfect. No echo. Everything's good. Welcome to the show. How are you, Daryl?
Thank you for having me. I love this topic. I love all your topics. It's so brilliant. And I love what Ash just said. Actually, I'm going to kind of exponentiate, whatever that word is, on what Ash just said. And I was thinking about this. You notice how they want to have like our consciousness in exchange for some technology. I think this is what it's all about in some way. I'm trying to put this together, but you notice that they've always gone and approached now they're approaching the Pope and Podesta. Like they want to find the guys that are going to make the biggest impact. So the Pope is a good choice. They haven't made the best choices in the past. You know, you look at Hitler, like for example, they went with him apparently, and suddenly they had amazing technology that we were trying to catch up with. So they don't always pick the best people necessarily. But I think there's something about this. If you look at religion, not to bring religion, don't get mad at me, but I don't know a lot about it. But there's always been like a recruiting factor in religion, you know, you always have to pray to that person. If you pray to this God, that means a lot of people have to pray to this one God. And let's say there were 12 gods at one time. If you look at ancient religions, they all have kind of the same thing happening on different parts of the world at the same time. But there was this God and that God that was good for one thing or the other. And, you were blessed with wine, or you were blessed with water or sun, etc. But it was something about recruiting and consciousness. So you had to think about them. You had to collectively think about that God, and we took their word for it because they did miracles. I think they made a couple of mistakes, because we could kind of figure out some of them. Maybe they said, well, we're going to have a virgin birth, that'll impress them. Well, maybe it didn't impress everybody, but it impressed enough of us, that we bought Jesus and we were praying to Jesus, and we still are. We still have that's a pretty good universal one. He did a good job, but maybe it wasn't enough for the other extraterrestrial gods, assuming that, we assume that they were gods because they did things that we couldn't do. And I think we're in a moment now that we need energy. They know we need it. They think we're going to solve a lot of problems if they give us energy. So this is just one of their bargaining chips so that they could get us to collectively do something for them. And what we do for them, they can't do for themselves. They need our consciousness. It's all about something about consciousness is all threaded between everything we've been talking about for the last, 10 years, let's say, very, very seriously. And we're trying to figure out, do we have that power or do they give us that power? We're assuming we're capable of it. Maybe we are, and it's going to be so simple, but we just don't see it because we have this amnesia. But it's collective amnesia that they somehow keep us dumb or make us smart when they need us. But maybe they made us too smart, so we're destroying ourselves now. So they're trying to backtrack. All right, that's all I had to say. But you get where I'm talking. You get where I'm going with that.
Yeah, definitely. She was talking about your point there, Ash. Want to take that?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely get what you're saying. There's a lot there. I'm trying to unpack it and process it correctly. That, Jesus, you mentioned Jesus. Maybe this was a person from this other universe where it be manifested to trying to have these teachings to come to us, and that there is some sort of free will component to it, right? But there needs to be some sort of, there's a permission asking, And what is that? If aliens are as powerful and can do whatever they want, then they could do whatever, and we're just ants on the anthill. So like, what does it matter? And so there is some sort of permission element to it. There's a free will, a consciousness element, and it's if this is true, like it means something, right? It means that maybe there are rules, and maybe this goes back to what this whole thing was. Maybe there are these beings, in another universe managing ours, and they dictate the rules, and that these celestials, that they call them, that they're just basically entities in our universe, have to obey those rules. And maybe these third-party celestials are trying to get what they want from working with humanity or taking advantage, or maybe humans make agreements that go both ways. Maybe it's not as negative as people say, but they need our permission or something of that nature, right? And you see this in Hollywood, you see it all over the place. So it's a great point.
Like you can't invite an extraterrestrial, or you even have to invite Dracula into your house. Like every time you want to have something done, you have to still invite them. So there is a permission aspect. Like our consciousness, like a state. You have to have it. It's like a drug. They're like heroin,
You're cutting out, Daryl. Some kind of disturbance there. I don't know if the phone's getting knocked around or what, but we can't hear you. It's you're cutting it out.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I was saying maybe we're like a drug to them. Like they're extraterrestrial junkies that they need that consciousness fix for them to perpetuate whatever they do. Or we're just delicious, or there's something about us that they depend on our consciousness to thrive or survive, and we depend on their technology to either to be perpetuating our existence or destroying it. We somehow can screw it up, So or we could screw it up by going with the negative, like the jerks. There's some jerks out there, and there's some good guys, So we're constantly dealing with that good and evil, and they seem to have tapped into our good and evil. I think they're still looking. They don't make the best decisions sometimes.
Right. This actually is I got a bit of a goosebumps because it's funny you bring this up. I actually had a dream the other night, and you can tell me if this is interesting or not. It's pretty parallel. The dream was like I was on a ship. Okay, and no, I wasn't abducted or anything like that. This was a straight up a dream. I could tell I was phasing in and out and all kinds of stuff. But it was a dream that I was on a ship, and it was like the future or whatever, and I'm hanging out with other human-ish people, and they were saying that the beings, the ones who are sort of in charge, are sleeping, and that they are immortal and kind of, but in order to be that intelligent, to be that mortal, they've had to give up a lot of their biology or their youth, and that our purpose as mortals is to be the vibrance, is to kind of like they have the ideas, they're like the brain, but we are like the will, the power to do that, and that there's like some sort of symbiotic thing, and that these beings were like they're not entirely benevolent, but they try, and that And anyway, that was a crazy dream I had like a couple weeks ago. So it's funny you mentioned that. So anyway, weird synchronicity. Synchronicity? Yeah, that's the word.
That's
cool.
Awesome. Synchronicity. Wow. Matt wants to know, do lizards actually dream? Or are you putting this on, Ash? Come on, buddy. Come on, man.
When I occupy my human body, I suffer from human emotions, But yeah.
Fair enough. But there's a lot of weirdness here in this email, right? And I don't know. So what do you think, Daryl? Is this again, like I'm always on alert with this type of stuff because it makes me wonder about, what kind of disinformation stuff. Like this is exactly how you would spin a disinformation campaign, right? Maybe this led to this entire, quote, disclosure process, which is controlled through the government to make us believe a particular thing, when in reality something completely opposite is happening, right? So I'm always like, when, email leaks from the government always make me go, Oh, you don't
Right?
say. How do you feel about this?
I mean, they put it in writing. That's pretty compelling, when you see something in writing. But it reflects a lot of potential truths there. I think, that they're contacting. I mean, this is what we're using now is emails, and it was sent in an email, not even a letter. So, not that means anything, but it goes into some sort of, that internet, where did we come up with the internet? Where did we come up with fiber optics? I mean, there's a lot of technology that I don't know if we can explain it that we're using today. I mean, who would have thought we could make a baby in a test tube, 50 years ago? I mean, there's a lot of things we're doing. Well, maybe we did 50 years ago, but I'm just saying the technology is just leaps and bounds, from one year to the next. We've made some incredibly fast, I don't know if that was that organic. I don't know how organic our technology really is. There's just too many missing links that can't be explained. I think it's very possible and plausible that there's something legitimate about it. That maybe you don't have to keep it a big secret, but you should keep it a secret. You have to be discreet about these treaties because people might flip out or whatever. Humanity can't handle the truth. I mean, we can handle thinking about it. Can we really handle it? If that's the truth? And really, what does happen to our consciousness? And what are we giving up if we, negotiate with them? There's always a clause there. There's always something that we give up. That, like right now, God only knows, there's some extraterrestrial just really likes freedom. Oh, that freedom of speech is delicious. I want to eat that. I don't know. What are we giving up to make them happy? And has it always been a barter system where we're always giving them something to get something? And how pure are our intentions and how pure are their intentions? They don't always pick the right people, but they certainly seem to pick. They try to choose carefully, and then you have to keep praying to them. That's how it goes. There's got to be an agreement there. If you promise, you pray to me and think about me, I'm going to give you eternal life. I'm going to bring you to heaven. But you got to pray to me. Don't forget, It's like a constant thing. They need a constant fix. So, if you don't pray to them, we're not living up to our end of the bargain, How much do they want from us? What really can we give them? Is this some sort of, what did they lose that they don't, they sleep all day now. They're not even, they're lethargic, like Ash said, So our life force, they forgot about whatever that is. And maybe in their dimension, they don't really need to do that much. Maybe their dimension is pretty boring. Our dimension is much cooler. But it's harder to enter our dimensions the more different they become. I don't know. That's
right. No, it's how are we supposed to have if these entities, these beings, aliens, celestials, angels, demons, how are we supposed to have a relationship with anything, with anyone, without knowing clear terms and now about knowing a little bit about them, right? It's like dating someone for, it's like having a roommate that you never met. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I think I have a roommate, but you're not sure.
They're never around, They come in, they make a mess, and they leave. I don't know.
You're like, someone's eating my pizza, like, for sure. Someone cooked me cookies in the middle of the night. This is weird, It's like, are they good cookies? Are they poison? Like, you don't know, right? And I think that's a good point. Like, what relation? It's like, you need to submit to God. You need to do this. Okay, this is just one story, or even reptilians or government. Like, who's working with who, and can we trust their judgment? And and if I'm involved, if it affects me, shouldn't I have a say, or at least shouldn't I know what's going on? So that's a great point. Absolutely right.
Yeah, good stuff. We're running out of time here, guys. So final thoughts on this, Daryl, and then we'll wrap this up. And as you know, you're welcome to come back in the second half, as always, the third hour.
Oh, yeah, you could leave me in just so I don't have to transition to the unmuted thing.
Sure, perfect.
No, I think I've said what I wanted to say. I just think there's something to be said for this. It's in our history. There's always been some sort of agreement. I mean, what's his name? Eisenhower made a treaty. He said, we just want a couple of humans to experiment on for some technology. Did we ever find out what the technology was? Or was it the atomic bomb? I don't know. Or was that after the atomic bomb? What am I saying?
Hybrid aliens. It seems to have concluded in hybrid alien humans, but if we're going down that rabbit hole, but I don't know.
When does that treaty end? We never had any, definitive, how long are you going to do this for? You didn't make enough, it wasn't very clear on our half how long we have to, donate, people for their satisfaction, or animals, or whatever they're abducting. Who knows? Got to make those treaties. It's like you're dealing with the devil. Don't sign it in your blood. Make sure there's a clause there to get out of it.
Right. Hey, and it could literally be, we don't know, right? Like how long these creatures live and all that. They literally could be making a deal with a guy who's been called, like some alien that's been called literally the devil. You know what I mean? It could be him. Like, for all we know, right? We don't know.
He's dead already. Maybe that was like 1,000 light years ago. You don't even know if we're making a deal with someone. That's in our dimension. Even. Who knows?
Exactly. We got to wrap this up. Thank you, Daryl. We're going to mute you here. If you want to get back on, just send a message in the chat, okay? Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Fantastic stuff as always. Thank you for the call. Daryl in New York. Great stuff. Let's wrap this up. We got a phone call we'll take in just a second, the third hour, as soon as we wrap this up. But let's do it. Let's get the heck out of here. You got like 30 seconds, Ash. 30 seconds. Let's finish this sucker up.
30 seconds. Boom. We talked about John Podesta, leaked emails. Take a look at that. Some crazy stuff. Contiguous aliens, all kinds of stuff. I'm Ash, Reptilian from Mars. Check out my YouTube channel. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for listening and appreciate you.
All right, so we're going to do a third hour Troubled Minds coming up. We're not on Fringe, so we're just going to take a break at the top of the hour here. We're going to keep on trucking. So we're not going to pretend like we're quitting anything. We're just going to keep on going. So this is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. We're here with Ash, the Reptilian from Mars. We're talking about all this stuff, the leaked Podesta emails from Wikileaks back in 2016. This email was written in 2014. All kinds of pretty wild stuff here. But the question is, what do you believe? Do you believe that some of this was kind of peppered in there as maybe the start of a disinformation campaign? And I think you can make that case. Or do you think it's maybe actually people that are into this stuff and this stuff is actually going on? You tell me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And we got Jennifer on the phone. We'll go to her in just a moment. But be right back. 2 minutes, 2-minute break, and we'll do more Troubled Minds. So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, and we'll play some of this music. And let's go. 2 minutes, 2-minute break. More Troubled Minds, third hour coming up. Don't go anywhere. Hang tight, Jennifer. Be right there. All right, let's get back to this. Thanks for being patient with us, guys. More Troubled Minds on the way. We've got, I'm Michael Strange. We're here with Ash the Reptilian from Mars, and we've got Jennifer on the phone. So let's go to Jennifer in Missouri. Welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
Doing good. I was kind of just like lost at first, and I read the articles through, and I was like, okay, there's something kind of weird with this, because I popped in late, too. But, hey, Ash, too. I don't know if you can hear me because I'm on the phone. But
I think you can. I think we're good.
Yeah, okay, so
go right ahead.
Let's go with all right. Well, first off, in the email, it's to John Podesta, or to an associate of John Podesta trying to set up a meeting, it seems. So there's no reason to believe it's not possible that it's real email, that people from organizations don't do this thing all the time to try to set up meetings. So I wouldn't discount that the email isn't possible, but then when you look into that Terry Mansfield, it's very strange. I was kind of reading through her website. It talks about how, they accept donations from billionaires and, literally it said that on the website. Very strange. And that they have contact, though, but they have that they're contacting ETIs and that are congruent with God. That's what she's talking about. And then the referencing to the Catholics several times. So-and-so is a Catholic, so-and-so who is also a Catholic. It's mentioned several times, and then Pope Francis. So this is very odd. If you think about the Catholic Church, there's a couple of sides to this coin. There's a theory, I think, would be a decent theory to throw out there, that the version of Catholicism that people have in their hands or in their homes and in the churches they go to is one thing. You know, it's storming here. I don't know if my internet will hold, but you know, that's one thing. And then there's a theory, though, pardon me, that behind that there is another secret order, basically. And this is just a theory and something that I'm thinking about and that I've, found information about. But God in Catholicism could be an ETI, an extraterrestrial intelligence. And a lot of people have already been thinking that. It's possible that these are maybe even the Greys in some instances. And we're talking about not necessarily the angels, but it's not a sure thing. But okay, let's just get to the point. The fact that it's possible that it's nonviolent to their, it says obedience with free will, like free will obedience to this God and to these nonviolent ETIs that rule over these other celestials, is what I was talking about. But it's an CERN. Sorry, I'm just trying to put it all together because I was just like, this is crazy. Okay, so CERN has a Catholic scientist that has worked on the CERN project and the Delphi project, another Large Hadron Collider, and then with the colliders themselves, those turn out a massive amount of energy. If they are associating with these beings, they weren't here all along. I mean, you might have to consider that because Catholicism is a very ancient religion and could be based on even more ancient religions and could be based upon the belief in extraterrestrials. And then if you want to, it's not necessarily doesn't have to necessarily be from space per se either. Could be on a dimensional level. I don't know. It's really strange. I think that they are, the group itself and the Catholic Church, these people from the Catholic Church, could be just absolutely serious that they're associating with aliens, because Vatican's been very open with that lately, talking about they're our brothers and we'll just baptize them. Well, actually, there would be no need for that because they're not human, so they've had no fall, so to speak.
Right.
So, but are they on our? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're spot on. It's weird that we have another wrinkle here. So usually we're talking about entities, celestial entities, whatever they are, as that. But now we have ETIs and celestial entities working in some kind of conjunction with us or against us. We're not even sure because, like always, right? I'm going to be suspicious of celestial implications and motivations anyway. I don't presume to know what they're up to, right? Because how can you? So if somebody says, Stephen Greer's like, oh, no, they're all fine. They're all here to help us, I don't know. Like if that were the case, shouldn't things be a little better than they are now? You know what I'm saying? Not that they should step in and fix everything, but for crying out loud, where's our flying cars and our 0-point energy, right? Like this is the type of stuff that's like, all right, it makes you suspicious, doesn't it? But then, that's why it kind of makes me suspicious when people say angels, right? It makes me suspicious when they say I've been communing with this or that or the other thing. I'm like, oh, have you? Tell me more. Yeah. I don't know. Like again, as you know, I'm skeptical.
Well,
I'm suspicious.
You can't really. Go ahead.
No. Go. You're up. Go right ahead.
No, just that you can't really take much with this. If you look at what this has said, it's so hard to talk about this without stepping on somebody's toes when you come to talking because they're the ones saying Catholic. They're the ones saying that,
Yeah.
So these are people saying, in the email. So I'm going off that reference, but insinuating that Catholic, not the Catholics that are, these aren't practicing. Like, it's not the neighbor next door who's Catholic or your grandma who's Catholic. That's not who's involved in this. They have something else in front of them, a belief system that's separate from this. Behind that, though, there could be another system, perhaps that hijacked it. Let's just say that. In the past, but it's been hijacked in a way by this order behind them that have made contact with a nefarious group, maybe not in the best interest of mankind. Let's just go with that. Because if you look at what they're saying, that human beings are innately bad and evil, and not like, and I'm not talking about the Catholicism that people have in their books, because that's got a mysticism to it. That's separate. But just on this thing, these ETs would have, it appears to actually have a negative feeling towards humanity in a way, and that they think that there's a fault there and a problem that they need to fix. If that's the case, if there's something wrong and that they need to fix, but then you have this 0 point energy aspect, where that would be a positive thing. But are they getting it from smashing atoms together? Are they getting it by hiding a star, a couple miles deep in the ground, that they're trying to create a star and use that for some kind of force of energy that could suck us all into a black hole? So we have several problems here, and it's unusual, and it's very disconcerting to these people like John Podesta and Pope Francis, who even in the Catholic faith is very controversial at this time, is talking about dealing with ETs on our good behalf. I think it's very unusual, and I think that they're, possibly it's real, that they actually have,
Right.
I don't know, it's a difficult one, isn't it?
This is a tough one. It's just a smorgasbord. It's almost like you threw everything up on a wall and you threw some darts and you put WikiLeaks, the Vatican, extraterrestrial celestials, Catholicism. It's just so much. It was honestly, like, for Mike and I were like putting the show together. We're like,
science forever now.
Go ahead.
You have all the major scientists. All the major scientists are coming out of the Catholic Church. People don't know that, but maybe they do. But the heliocentric Earth, the Big Bang, all of evolution, all of that is out of Catholicism. And if you ask these scientists why it's not a problem, you're a Catholic, people have said that. They're like, it's not in conflict with my faith. That would insinuate that they do believe it's very conceivable that they are okay with the idea of dealing and have been, and maybe because they believe in a God, and their God is a real God in their mind, and in actuality. And that would insinuate very likely that it could be what we would consider what people might call an ET. But then you could go a little bit further with that and say that, or a celestial, however it would be, which I'm not very familiar with. I'm just thinking in terms of what people would call an alien, But with that field alone, you could be looking into just dimensional beings that people have already been talking about forever. In the case of the field of the spirits and elementals and all that stuff on different dimensions here on the Earth, and Jinn and da-da-da-da. So these beings of some kind, whether from the moon or from a planet or from wherever, or another dimension, just another shadow dimension or something. There's a problem if it actually isn't, it's not all roses per se.
Right. Well,
I don't believe it. It's a religion thing, and I think it's touchy, but I think that it's very possible that John Podesta, I guess, and the government, that's a problem, see. The moment you start talking about heads of government and the Pope, and then billionaires, I guess, is what I said in her, which was just really weird. She said taking donations from billionaires.
The unholy trinity. The unholy trinity is...
These are people...
Go ahead.
That these people are interacting with anything on the behalf of the good of humanity is bizarre to begin with. And then as far as to create 0 point energy to give us free energy, it doesn't add up. It sounds really strange. But then with CERN mentioned as well, which we're not exactly sure the effect of it. And then you consider that, why are the Catholics... So I've been wondering for a long time, like, why are they doing this? So there must be, it could be to bring in beings to accomplish some ultimate goal, no doubt. But I guess, good topic. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
I hope we figure it out.
Yeah, trying to figure out any of this stuff is really, really tough. Fantastic stuff as always. Jennifer has a YouTube channel. If you want to follow it, please follow Jennifer's YouTube channel. Scroll down right there on Rockfin and also on YouTube. It's part of the links underneath. Jennifer, you're amazing. Thank you for the calls. Amazing stuff as always.
Have a good night. Bye.
Thanks a lot. You too. Thanks a lot. Good stuff. She's having looks like she said that there's a storm there, so a little bit of cutting in and out on the phone. So forgive that. But hey, weather happens everywhere. And I know you caught part of that, Ash. And I think she's spot on with a lot of this. Is it does throw that extra wrinkle into what's going on here, meaning that it isn't just as simple as maybe a whatever is. Like the aliens versus whatever, right? Like you throw in like the religious wrinkle into all of it, and then call them two separate things. Even with this celestial, I don't know. Like I don't know what to do from there. But seems strange to me. Seems like we're in that weird spot again of how do you quantify all these things? How do you actually make them whatever it is they were? So anyway, thoughts on that?
Yeah. It's a lot of red flags per se, right? Like a lot to digest. Whenever you kind of throw religion in there, a lot of religion's based on like faith, right? An almost blind faith. Like that's, I don't mean it in a negative term. Like you're supposed to have blind faith. You're supposed to. So a lot of the language you're hearing is that you would hear. Catholicism and stuff you hear in this, but if it's all connected, it means okay, aliens, and I've actually had conversations with religious people, and I've tried to bring up aliens, and they look at me as if I'm nuts. But if I just change the language, the bearded man in the sky with his holy angels, that's not crazy. You know what I'm saying? So. We all kind of believe something crazy. I'm doing air quotes because we don't really understand what's going on. So, but who's working with who's in charge of what, and you're hearing this crazy stuff, and why aren't you hearing this in public? And you know what? If there are celestials, there are aliens, just come out. Just come out. Just say, hey, what's up? Teach us something. Let us learn. And we don't know the intentions. I guess this is the point, and this is the point the last two callers made, both actually in different ways. What are the intentions of everyone involved? First of all, do they exist? What do they want? Are they good? They bad? John Podesta, that's a loaded. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I'm not going to say it, but if you know, you know. And if you don't know, and you want to know, you probably don't want to know. So John Podesta is of questionable morality from what I've seen. So like what's going on? This is a crazy story with all kinds of stuff in it. So great call, good job. I watched a couple of your videos. So support Jennifer. She's already doing great, and it's good stuff, man. I mean, this is a hard topic. It's all over the place, right, Mike? This is insanity. That's what we signed up for tonight.
Yeah, well, and that's what we do. Again, drinking a hefty dose of the maybe juice and considering all the things, right? Is this real? And I think let's look at that for a little bit too. So look at the timeline of these Podesta emails, and it may not be related at all. Okay, but let's say that it is. Let's say that this leak was sort of planned. It was a planned leak. They let this get into WikiLeaks' hands for some reason. And then, again, this is an email from 2014 talking about extraterrestrials, ETI, extraterrestrial intelligence, benevolent ones, that zero-point energy stuff, the contiguous universe stuff, which would be other dimensions. And then on top of that, it leaks, just before the election in 2016. It turns everything upside down, and then we have whatever it just happens to be. It turns into whatever it was. Don't want to rehash that whole thing again. But then let's say that after that, remember that was 2016. In 2017, this Tom DeLonge stuff started happening, right? Where he was connecting with the government, doing this type of thing publicly. So clearly he was working on it prior to, like you said, some of the email leaks actually had his name in it, or at least referenced him. And so let's say it is a big psyop. All right, just for thought experiment sort of situation, right? I'm not claiming this is what I think, but think of it in terms of this. They leaked it intentionally to get those big words out into the open. And then afterward, it turned into this disclosure process, which again, Tom DeLonge to the Stars Academy, which led to Lou Elizondo, Chris Mellon working with outside of the government from being government insiders, right? And then you continue this and it turns into a lot. It turned into this UFO report, which happened this past summer, right? And so I don't know. I think there's a lot to this that maybe this was possibly a catalyst for a longer term psyop, right? If you add it to the front as the head of this dragon, and kind of maybe link them together as part of that, quote, disclosure process, then, Tom DeLonge, we've talked about this in the past. He said like all kinds of wacky stuff. He's talked about that, what was it called? Project, I can't remember what it's called. Not Starfish. It's something like that, where the nukes in the sky were knocking UFOs out of the sky, things like this. Other things. And so, like, we did all kinds of shows in the past on Tom DeLonge and the things that he believes about aliens and whatnot. So if all that stuff, or even a part of that stuff, is true, it stands to reason that maybe either one or the other, right? This is like a big psyop to convince us of something. Or maybe if some of this stuff is true, on the other hand, we have a completely different thing, don't we? Which again, I don't know. But I don't know. Do you think they're related, this whole psyop thing, possibly with... maybe it came from the inside of the government. Again, remember, this is Edgar Mitchell. He's passed away now, but he was an Apollo astronaut. He went to the moon, all this other stuff. And then it gets dropped out in WikiLeaks. Now, I don't think, again, let's throw Julian Assange into the mix. I don't think he's working with the government in that capacity, but who knows, right? In this world, you just never know what the hell's going on out there. I think that's the weird part, right?
Right. No, it's true, Mike. It's, we're kind of supposedly getting a quick peek behind the veil on accident, right? But a lot of this accidental stuff kind of got the ball rolling. That's a strategy now. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. People leak stuff all the time. Air quotes, leak. Leaking things is exciting, so you're going to get more clicks. You're going to get more views. A lot of times, I think I heard this thing with the government is that they couldn't get stuff out because there's so much bureaucracy, right? There's so much of it that they can't bring anything out, that they have to kind of go around the apparatus in order to get these things out, to pressure the government to move the needle, to move things around. What I'm concerned about is that the more I look into this, and I don't think this is true, I think it's kind of true, it is that the government don't know shit. Like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I think that we've all come to see this over the last 4 to 8 years through all this craziness. We're looking and we're seeing the government's fucking incompetent, right? And it's on every level and everything. And it's kind of scary. It's like, when you're growing up, you have mom and dad take care of you, the school takes care, and you think the government's taking care of you, and you think you think you're fighting the man, but you're fighting this somewhat incompetent fucking thing. And I think we're starting to see that. But that being said, I do think that there is a core of motherfuckers that know what they're doing, and they're the scary people. And then there's also, so that, like, the intelligence agencies, I think they run shit, like, for real. What they say about Trump, you chill, or they know how to mess you up 15 different ways to Sunday, and they took that guy through the ringer, man. And I wouldn't want to have the CIA and the FBI and the DOJ and all these entities on me, right? Like, that's some hard ass pressure. But okay, anyway, sorry, moving on. But within the government, it seems like someone is managing the UFO aliens. Like we hear these rumors, like Eisenhower meeting with aliens, like the Men in Black shit. Like, who is that? What is that? Who are they? What are they fucking doing? And who are they working with? Are they working with reptilians? Are they working with these celestials? Are they working with these inter-universal entities? And what deals have they made? She made a good point that, like, if it affects us and involves us, like, what are these fucking deals? Like, what are they doing? And we don't know. And how can we make informed, educated decisions when we don't know? We hear all these rumors. We're trying to piece things together. We're Mike and I are just two guys on the internet trying to figure stuff out. And it's like, what is all this crap? And like, why don't they tell us? And then you get stuff like this, and you're like, what the fuck is going on, right? Like, what the fuck is going on? Sorry, I realized we're in the third hour, and I just unleashed all my language in like one rant. But yeah, I don't know. Do you feel the same way? Like, what the fuck? Just come out with it already.
I think that's part of what we're doing here is just trying to talk through this, because it is difficult to figure out regarding all this. Who knows where this is coming from? And there you go. MJ says, find out for yourself. And that's kind of what part of this is about, right? Like, what do you believe and all the rest of this stuff, and what's going on? I don't know. You tell me. Love to hear from you guys if you want to be part of the show. We're talking about these leaked emails with, again, from WikiLeaks through John Podesta, who, many people have said, quote, evil. This guy's evil. That's what a lot of people think about people that are way up in the government and rubbing elbows with elites and all the rest of this. All right, there we go. All right. Look, literally guys, 100%. I promise you, you come into this chat and you bring drama from another channel, I swear to God, I'm going to ban you instantly. You can make 1,000 accounts, I'll ban every fucking one. You understand me? No drama from other bullshit channels. And if you pop in here and say shit about other people, you're instantly gone. Fast and Furious later. Adios. Now look, I'm not fucking kidding here. I'm not fucking around. I don't play this game. All right? You guys, get the hell out of here and go do something else. All right? No harassing people in this chat, period. I don't give a shit. Don't show up. Don't say terrible things about people and expect to be okay. Get lost. Period. Get lost. Looking to hear from you guys. 702-957-1037. Put you on the show. Mighty Rohan, are you there? What's up, buddy?
Damn, the dichotomy, Mike, the switch. Woo! Jeez, spicy.
Don't fuck with me. Do not fuck with me. I don't play this game. I do not play drama. I do not play drama.
I feel it. I got you. Damn, don't hit me, Mike.
Oh boy. All right, go ahead, Rohan. What's up, my friend? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I like that. You can't be straight with that shit. You know what I mean? I'm a vegetarian, man. That's I live, breathe, and sleep that stuff. It's not showing off thing. You just got to set boundaries, haven't you? Anyway, yeah. Hi.
What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I only caught the back end call just before Jennifer called in. So yeah, I only just woke up.
Right on. Well,
I've got a few comments.
Good morning.
Nice.
So what do you think about this?
Yeah,
what kind of madness is going on with this stuff? You're familiar with the Podesta emails and that leak stuff, right? Regarding contiguous universe and 0 point energy and all that.
Yeah, well, actually, to be honest, I never actually read them. I just heard all the snippets of what everybody's, because it was so heavily reported, wasn't it? You kind of didn't need to, did you? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think that stuff, it's probably mentioned as well. I think there's a lot of that disclosure, slow release, and that exchange of you've got to tell people. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of this stuff's been like. I think a lot of this stuff's been done. I saw the 0 point energy. I know he's. I've mentioned this guy called Tom Baden before, retired lieutenant colonel. He's done a lot of that free energy stuff and lots and lots of things, and they've come up with like solid state things. And I think if this guy's done it, I think it's been long done. I mean, if you look into the research of the frequencies and Raw Raymond Rife and Thomas Townsend Brown, that way back when, and the Tesla stuff, I think it's clear if you really deep dive this stuff, they've gotten onto something. But like I say, so I think they've got the energy, right? They've got an idea of how this stuff kind of works, although they don't really know what an electron is exactly, but you can make it work and do stuff, can't you? Right, so I think they've got so far with it, and like the treaty got mentioned, Eisenhower, the Grady Treaty, yeah, that's got signed. We've got into it like, know nothing idiots kind of signed this treaty and done one of those crappy forever deals, haven't they? Like, maybe you get into the music industry and they say, oh, we want to have your music exclusive to us. So you think, and you just wrote a song. So you kind of think it's just about that song. And then before you know it, every song you ever make has got to go to this record company. And I think that's the deal that they've done. I think they've took some crappy technology that's probably nothing to aliens or whatever, and they've seen what they've got. They thought, oh my god, oh no, how could we fight against this? We need that tech. So they've gone, oh okay, here's some other tech then, and we want this, this, and this, which might be abduct people and do some. So we get some crappy UFOs, but in this abducting thing, well, how long does that last? There was no term set. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, we'll just do it forever. Do you know what I'm saying? And but now you've took the tech, so how do you say no? And then when you do that, instead of being intruders that we assume aliens coming in, now they become part of our political scheme. If you start making legal contracts and deals, now you're inviting these intruders to be here as like a business partner. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like a trick. Exactly. It's like a Jedi mind trick.
Real
draw
quick,
you in, right?
You're cutting in and out. I don't know if it's your microphone or if it's your internet. There's something kind of going glitchy a little bit with what you're doing there. I don't know if you.
I don't know. I don't know. Is that better? Let's get a bit closer. What about that?
Keep talking.
Just one second. I'll turn this noise gate off. Maybe it was.
Yeah. Maybe that's that second noise gate pop on. Yeah. Try it again.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, saying we've had this like created treater. We've had this bit of a deal. It's like I've been led into it. We've gone in, a bit naive. Okay. But like at the same time, like I think Ash mentioned, there's a lot of these. You've got these politicians. A lot of them don't know what they're doing. Do you know, I think that's just obvious. A lot of them, people are just in these positions, and I think there's only probably a small group of people that have really got a handle on stuff. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, they're not really in full control of anything, are they? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think we've got zero stuff, but.
Yeah, we're gonna have to catch up with you next time. If you want to reboot and come back, you are literally just breaking up at the end of almost every sentence, my man. So I'm not sure what's going on with your audio, but something's broken. So if you want to reboot or do something, maybe restart Discord and come on back, you're welcome. But it's hard keeping up with you there. Some good points there. But again, it's hard. Like I said, hard to keep up with that. We are taking your calls, guys. What do you think about these leaked emails from again the former astronaut to what's his name, John Podesta, and what about the 0 point energy, the contiguous universe, all this stuff? Like I said, I'm open to all the ideas. Do you think it's just was just a mistake? Some knucklehead sending an email hoping to get an answer. Who knows, right? A lot of people can say they're Edgar Mitchell, can't they? I mean, if I send an email through Ash's email and said, "Hey, this is Michael Strange," through Ash's email, wouldn't that seem suspicious to you as well? So I think there's probably some maybe fuckery going on here. It's probably like a nice term to make you suspicious.
Yeah,
right?
but that's fair. It's fair to say, who knows? You don't know what's going on, and this could all be just straight hardcore bullshit, right? Of the highest order. I will say, I do have a little bit about Edgar Mitchell now, and before I forget to say it, let me see if it's relevant, actually. I'm just going to say this as a blurb real quick. Dr. Edgar Mitchell, who passed away in 2016, was a NASA astronaut who traveled to and walked on the moon as part of the Apollo 14 mission in 1971. By the way, this is Edgar Mitchell. This is supposedly where the email came from, like Mike said, but it actually came from an email address of these people who think aliens are Catholic God celestials. So, anyway, so a President Medal of Freedom recipient, he once completed a record-breaking 9-hour. Let me skip through this. He was pretty badass. He was a strong believer in metaphysical phenomenon. He claimed, for example, that a Toronto-based healer named Adam Dream Healer. What a sick name, Adam Dream Healer. God damn, I'm gonna rename myself. I'm gonna call myself Reptilian Big Tail.
Don't do it, Big Tail. don't do it. I knew what was coming. Don't do it. Don't do it, Reptilian Big Tail. All right, fine. We'll roll with that. Oh,
so this Adam Dream Healer cured him of kidney cancer remotely, while the two men were separated by thousands of miles. Strong believer in the existence of intelligent extraterrestrial life, claimed Earth had frequently been visited by aliens. Among the many times he had made these assertions was in a 2000 interview with The Guardian. Oh, okay. I thought maybe that had a little more insight than it did. My bad. But
no, okay.
Yeah.
So that's supposedly where the email came from. The email came from the Dr. Edgar Mitchell, who again was an Apollo astronaut. He actually supposedly put his feet on the moon, if you believe that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is the thing. Given this extra wrinkle, right? Again, not just ETs working with the government. We're talking about celestials now. We're kind of bringing in the Catholicism a little bit into this conversation. The Vatican of all things, right? Like the email is again. Let's go back to this email just to kind of reframe the discussion and why this is so strange. So this is again. So this is straight from the WikiLeaks email. I'll read it straight like it says. Dr. Edgar Mitchell asks that I write to Mr. Podesta and you requesting his meeting in Washington, D.C. with John to discuss disclosure and zero-point energy. As John is aware, more than 20 countries, including the Vatican, have released top-secret papers discussing extraterrestrial incidents on Earth over many years. The U.S. has not participated in disclosure yet. It says, and then the bottom part here says, because of his own background as a Catholic, we feel it is imperative that John be aware of the Vatican's interest in ETI, or extraterrestrial intelligence, and in sustainability for our planet. The Vatican has hosted global seminars on the repercussions of humans interacting with ETI and how this will affect religion and consciousness. The Vatican's observatory is located here in Arizona, and its top astronomers, including Father Jose Funes and Brother Guy, let's see if I can say it this time, Consolmagno, who have met with Pope Francis, have publicly stated that God's creation could very well include other intelligent life, and that would mean they are our brothers, quote, in parentheses, brothers. Quotation marks, not parentheses. We work with specific ETI from a contiguous universe. They are nonviolent and in complete obedience to God. Our ETI's connection to zero-point energy is obvious, and that their purpose is to guide Edgar's international Quantrek science team, I don't know what that is, to apply their zero-point energy research for humanity, to move away from the use of fossil fuels, which are so deleterious, is that a word, and to our fragile planet. Quantrek Science Initiative, Science Intuitive, Science Intuitive, Dr. Suzanne Mendelson, also a practicing Catholic, advises the Quantrek team as to the specific tau neutrino, which is the foundation for zero-point energy, something CERN scientists have begun to study. And this is exactly what Jennifer was talking about. You start to loop all these like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 huge concepts together, we got problems, don't we? It says, as well as the scientists all over the planet. Because of the recent demonstrations addressing the overwhelming issue of climate change and President Obama's own concern, we feel the timing is perfect to meet with John to map out a plan involving disclosure and zero-point energy. After having met with U.S. Ambassador Pamela Hamamoto at the UN mission in Geneva on July 4th, Edgar announced to Swiss media that he intends to return to the moon on a spaceship fueled by zero-point energy at age 116 years. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. He passed away, of course. It says, thank you for letting us know 3 possible dates and times for our meeting with John so we can prepare travel logistics. And that's the entire email. That's the entirety here. That's what we're talking about. This is from WikiLeaks. This is sent on behalf of Edgar Mitchell. So he didn't actually write it himself. It was written by this Terry, what's her name? Help me out again. What the hell is her name? I'm going to find it. Here we go. Terry Mansfield. Terry Mansfield. And her website is this, terrymansfield.com. And so I don't know. There's a lot here. There's some weirdness to this, and I don't know, a lot of wrinkles. The CERN stuff and all the rest of this. I don't know, man. I don't know.
we are definitely in weird territory. Oh, I did find another Edgar quote. Quote from Edgar, the astronaut, Edgar Mitchell. We are being visited, Mitchell said. It is now time to put away this embargo of truth about the alien presence. I call upon our government to open up and become part of the planetary community that is now trying to take our proper role as a spacefaring civilization. That sounds nice.
That sounds super nice.
Bless your heart, Edgar. Respect.
Why not? So what are your thoughts on this, guys? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Hopefully we'll get Rohan back here in a sec. I think he's fixing his audio bug that whatever was going on with Discord there. And so I don't know. You guys tell me, what is this all about and what's going on? And again, like I said, I'm okay just saying that this is part of some larger psyop, some part of some larger thing that maybe they're trying to make us believe that the government is interested somehow, some way as... disclosure. I hate to say it. Disclosure. Thank you, Dark Devious. Shout out to Dark Devious. Thank you for the tip. Thank you, Robert, for the tip tonight over on Rockfin. Appreciate that, guys. Okay, so this is what's happening here. I don't know other than, it's a conversation. As you know about me, I'm not the answers guy. I'm the questions guy. And that's why we get together and talk about this stuff. So if you want to be part of the show, you know what to do? 702-957-1037. Let's get way out there, Ash. Now, let's assume that this is like a galactic...
Whoa. We're not there already? Where the fuck are we going?
No, let's go further. Let's go further.
Where are you taking me, Mike?
All right, hold my hand. We're about to find out. We'll put the little hearts up in the sky and we'll hold hands and walk out. Long walks on the Martian beach. Yeah, it's a beautiful thought, right? But okay, so let's take this to the next level, meaning, all right, so let's say there is some sort of ETI, extraterrestrial intelligence from a contiguous universe, all right? Then let's say that they are in league with some sort of celestial something going on with this, meaning, of course, that it's a... like a connection between ETs, dimensional ETs, and let's call the celestial some sort of like a Catholic contact on Earth, right? And so they're talking about, in this email, they're talking about the Vatican, and they're talking about all kinds of other things. And sorry, dog's chewing on something. Yeah, I know. She's trying to chew my shoes. My good little dog, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, she's so cute." No, she's bad. She's chewing on my shoes. Yeah. But anyway,
get her. I'm influencing her mind with my reptilian powers.
I actually I had to put my shoes up on the chair because she was like, she literally picked one up and walked away with it. I'm like, really? Anyway. So
this no more. Yoink.
Yeah. No,
like it.
No. All right. So okay, but way out there is that. So there's some sort of like in a different dimension going on here, but also some sort of connection back through that dimension to maybe celestials in this realm that are, well, I don't know, maybe answerable back to the Catholic Church somehow, meaning the Vatican. There we go. Let's take it at face value from what they say in the email, and then think in terms of that. So that's way out there. And then consider this too, like you said, with that contiguous universe stuff, does it even mean that it's just one, or is it many? And, maybe there's a connection and there's a relationship between all of those universes, those different dimensions. I don't know. You tell me. This is pretty weird. Like, let's take it to the final aspect of this, which would be what? Lovecraftian old ones? I mean, if we end up there every show, I'm fine with that.
No, I could take this as if we're in left field. Hey, fuck, I live there, man. Let's do it. Okay, there's this collection of entities that supposedly exist beyond our realm, right? Whatever. Asgard, fucking, as far as we know, right? Asgard, and the Thor god, and we have to swear allegiance to it. And again, it is familiar to the traditional Catholicism. There are these beings, these angels, and they want us to believe in God so that we can join them in God's kingdom, right? I mean, it's you literally just change the words, man, and it's the same. So what if? Okay, let me put a spin on it. Let me put a realist spin on it. What if these are the reptilians or those beings, and that they've already gone through the singularity. The singularity is, in science, is where we invent an AI, an advanced entity, an AI machine that's beyond our comprehension as far as its functionality, its mind, its comprehension. And maybe they created a benevolent one, and that they basically let this thing run them, and that's their god. And I've heard this, that, me being disconnected from the other reptilians, I only learned so much in little baby reptilian school. I didn't really get to go. So I got stranded pretty early. But I've heard rumors that reptilians have an AI god. And what if this is them saying that you need to pledge allegiance to their AI god because everything's better that way, because it just understands and whatever, and that you need to kind of jack in or dial into that. Boom! Look at that. That narrative fits into this, right? And that they exist in another dimension, that their AI god was able, there's other dimensions, there's this, there's that, and then it pulls their civilization into that, and that's where they exist. Bam. Now, that's crazy. Go ahead with Cthulhu. I like that one. I heard that. I thought
let's go to Cthulhu. Let's go to the
I do Alien Reptilian. You go ahead with Cthulhu.
Okay, well, check this out. All right, let's make the full connection. Let's go all the way around. All right. So let's say that according to these emails, we have some sort of connection with the Vatican to these celestials, who are also in connection and in deference to this ETI, which is the extraterrestrial intelligence from another realm, meaning that it's another universe, contiguous universe, right? So that's the thing. But then let's say that those past that, we have that extraterrestrial intelligence that is sort of dictating to the celestials who are communicating with the Vatican. But then let's go one step higher than the extraterrestrial intelligence to the days of the abyss, before there were stars in the universe, right? And talk about, that's right, Lovecraftian old ones. And maybe those are the individuals from the old ancient days, from the primordial universe, that are actually in charge here and giving direction to this ETI or the Celestials or all of the above, right? Which again, kind of, basically, if you trace anything back far enough, that's kind of what you get. You get a lot of void, a lot of that chaos in the early universe, and a lot of who knows what the hell's going on here. I think that's I don't know, like, if you guys can take it any deeper than that, as you know, any further out than that, I don't know, you tell me if you want to be part of the show. We have an open phone line, and you want to be part of it, part of the conversation, 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Just join up and say what's up, what's going on, come hang out, and then there you go. There you go.
Sorry.
You're good? Go right ahead. What's up, man?
Yeah, sorry. I forget. I one of the reasons I kind of like interrupt a little bit. It's just because I'm like scared I'm going to forget the thought. So apologies if I'm a little rude or whatever. But
go right ahead, buddy.
Basically, yeah, it's interesting. Isn't Cthulhu's an alien that comes, crashes on the Earth, hibernates? Right? Yeah. He's from like
in the ocean.
Is that?
Yeah, that's Cthulhu. That's a Lovecraftian old one. So a primordial god from the ancient days, before there were anything, before anything was out there. And they say in the Call of Cthulhu, written by, of course, H.P. Lovecraft, that he's buried in the ocean. And there are people that actually are adherents to him. And those old ones, there are other ones. What's his name? I can't remember the name. It's a long name. It'll come to me. Nyarlathotep. There's another story by H.P. Lovecraft. There's some amazing stuff that he's written. But so basically, yeah. So you're talking about the exact one. Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu is the name of that book. And so he's a Lovecraftian old one. And they say that they're so ancient and so twisted and malformed and so large, so huge. Like a giant is nothing to these things. They are gigantic. And not only that, the mere sight of them will make a mortal go absolutely insane, because they've got 28 mouths and 44 tentacles and 16 arms, and right, it's difficult to describe how like gigantic and grotesque these things are, because it's all forms of life before life existed. Yeah, and there you go. There's a good example. And you were correct. That's Call of Cthulhu.
That's sick. It's like so badass. And Cthulhu is not an official IP, so you can just slap Cthulhu on socks, Cthulhu on whatever. Which is it's actually like we all own Cthulhu. We all share Cthulhu's madness together, right? Pretty cool. I mean, even just like the vastness of space, man. Like if you think about the vastness of space, and it's just incomprehensible. So like a manifestation of that, a biological manifestation of that immensity of the proportions of the universe, of the vastness of reality is just, and that it would drive you mad with just a sight. It's just fucking cool. So anyway, yeah. And speaking of driving you mad, we're talking about John Podesta's email. And it's got all kinds of stuff in here. 0 Point Energy. Oh, I know. There's something we didn't get to. We talked about the Vatican awareness of ETI, right? And we didn't really go fully deep on that. We went a little bit religions. We always suspect the Vatican has some ancient shit, like they know some stuff, right? And they've been putting out some language lately, as if they do know something. We could talk about that, but there's also the space treaty, right? The space race heating up. That's one of the things. And then also Carol Rosen, who worked with Warner Von Braun. Warner.
I got you. I got you.
You got me. Go.
Warner Von Braun. There you go. I got you. I knew what you were trying to. I've done it 100 times. I knew what you were trying to do. Werner von Braun. Yeah. Of the famous Nazi rocket scientist, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So we got a couple phone calls. Project Paperclip. So make that point, and then we'll go to Tam Bam, and then we got Penny on the line as well.
Oh, great. I don't know. We have these topics, right? We got the Vatican. What do they know? Supposedly they're a reptilian front, but the Vatican's Catholicism, right? Is it Christianity or Catholicism or both?
Catholics and Christians are different. That's the type of thing that starts wars. Don't mix them up. Don't do that. I
almost lost my head there for a second.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Off with this head. Off with this head. All right, so let's go to Tam Bam in South Africa. Rohan said he's going to be back in a sec too. Tam Bam, are you there? Here we go. Let's try that again. Tam Bam, are you there? Test 1 2. Try this again. Try it again. Try it again. Tam Bam, test 1 2.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Show. What's up, Tam Bam? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Just talking about weird shit like we always do.
Yeah. Easy tonight. Well, today.
Right.
Tonight.
Good morning. So, what are your thoughts on this? Any thoughts here, or have you heard of this stuff, or you tell us?
I think with the Catholics, I think it's all corrupt. There's just too much money, too much power, too many secrets. It's all corrupt. It's just ridiculous. How can you even start trying to understand the levels of complexity and indecency that there is?
Agreed. There's some weirdness there, I think, and I think literally the larger the organization becomes, I think the more corrupt you're going to get. It's just kind of how it works, right? And you could say that about Facebook, right? You could say that about like any of the rest of this stuff. They've kind of got their tentacles and everything at this point worldwide, just like the Catholic Church might or the Vatican. So I don't know, to single out the Vatican, sure, fine. They've been around for a very long time. They've been slinging money and borrowing money and all this other stuff, and they have got their own bank and their own country and all this other stuff, covering up all these really horrific things that they've done to children. But I mean, right, like the larger the organization gets and the more power they accrue, the more evil they become. And I think, like I said, it goes with corporations too. I think you can probably point to a lot of them in the current day that are just horrific. So I don't know. So I think that's probably why I'm so anti-government, is because once you give any entity so much power, that's the type of shit you deal with, right? I mean, look what they're doing to us. I mean, we don't have to get into that. That's a whole nother show. But yeah, just FYI, I think let's be fair and just spread the hate around to all the huge organizations that are trying to screw us, right?
Absolutely. No, the thing is, the more money you have, the more the faster you get bored. And then what's the best currency and the highest risk currency you have? And it's humans, the general population. That is their currency now, because they've got all the money in the world. What else can they play with and fuck around with? That is why I'm so upset with it. I hate them. I hate it all. I want to go to a new earth, a new world, and I want everyone to be equal, and there's like no factions, and it's just peaceful and wonderful, and yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get the earth when you leave?
Dibs on the earth.
Yeah.
It's a fair trade.
Well, I don't know about reptilians. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk.
All right, we'll make some deals. Backroom deal.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's. What else you got, Rohan? We got Tam. We got Rohan here too. So you guys are more than welcome to both hop in here and mix this up. Let's test Rohan's mic. He was on the fritz, so you don't have to go, Tam. You're welcome to stay. Rohan, let's go. What's up, buddy? Let's test this shit out.
Mic check. 1, 2.
Clear.
Mic check.
Clear
mic,
as
mic
clear.
check. Mic.
Clear as clear.
Beautiful.
Clear as clear. Come right in. All right. So Rohan, Tam.
Is that better? Let Tam finish off. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. That mic works. Cool.
Okay.
I've just got one thing to say.
Sure.
So you were talking about the Cthulhu in the ocean with the weirdness that we can't fathom how grotesque it looks because it's beings before beings were even here. It's the time before time. So I actually read something about how angels actually look. And if people are versed in the Bible, angels actually look quite scary. So there's angels that have eyes all over itself, and they're swirling beings, and they come to us, if you choose, as, wings and bright and whatever, but actually they're quite scary beings.
That reminds me of like some of the things that people talk about when they take DMT and they see entities, they see swirling eyes and yeah, I haven't heard that about the angels being some like freakish looking. You always get this picture of like a beautiful man or woman with wings, right, and a sword or something like that. That's interesting. I'm gonna look that up. I want to see some pictures.
Yeah, I saved a few that if I can find it, I'll send it to you. But yeah, it's very scary and intimidating, and this is also why they come in our presence in a way we understand, in a way that our physical eyes can actually or can handle, and that is beautiful and light and airy and wings. But in actual fact, they're scary and they're warriors, and that's not something to mess around with.
Agreed. Interestingly, too, talking about angelic beings and maybe the opposite. If you guys haven't watched that, watch Midnight Mass on Netflix.
I did.
Did you watch that? No spoilers.
I binged the shit out of it.
But holy shit, right? Does that make you think twice? It had wings.
Listen, my husband and I were sitting there. We're like, fucking Catholics.
Whoa.
Sorry, no offense to anyone who's Catholic. It's just the whole premise of the roundabout, the system. It's like,
yeah.
It's just, come on, man.
Oh, I quite like that. That's funny because then it makes it look like being miserable has created angels into a tulpa. Do you know what I'm saying? Into one you made it crap.
We've all dabbled in the thought of immortality and what it takes, and maybe being a vampire. But can you really, let's talk about it. Can you really murder someone and drink their blood just for immortality? And then looking like that fucking thing that came out of the cave?
I don't know. I can't get into all that leather, being like sexy and leathery all the time. My chest's out, just hissing at people and shit. No, I'm joking.
Hey,
but,
enough Martian Benjamins, you never know.
Well, go ahead.
What if I had enough Martian Benjamins? I mean, I don't know what currency you have there. What does it take to get you in full leather, Ash?
Hey man, let's talk it out. I'm not closed off to anything. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta maybe we can work with Tam Steel for Earth.
Yeah.
Earth Mark 2.
There you go. No spoilers on the show, by the way.
Mike, before you speak, are you getting a kickback from these guys? You love the show. I gotta watch it now.
Hold on. I'll explain later. I'll explain the strategy later. But yeah, no sweat. All right, so no spoilers there. But okay, anything else, Tim? Anything else before we got you here? Before we let Rohan rip it up?
No, he can rip it up. I just want to say also just one more thing, Mike. Shit, I'm so glad you're my friend. You called that guy out. What's his name?
I don't even know.
Fast.
I don't know. I banned him faster than I could find out what it was. I'm telling you guys.
Yes, I got a friend.
Don't bring drama here. Don't do it.
No.
Literally don't do it. No. I will ban them faster than you can make them. I promise you that. And I'll spend a week. I'll turn everything off for a week and ban every one of you. All right? Don't bring drama here. Don't bring drama here. We ain't doing that, and I don't care. Everybody wants to point fingers and say this, that, the other thing. It doesn't belong here. The whole point of being here is so we can be chill and hang out together and have a good conversation. And if you bring drama into the chat, go somewhere else. Literally. There's literally a billion fucking YouTube channels out there. Just go. Go somewhere where you enjoy being there. Don't come and cause drama. We're not doing that here. So thank you for noticing. And it's always been a policy here. It's always been the policy. We just don't have to really invoke the policy too often. So just no trolls allowed. That's just the way it is. So,
I love it. You're so fiercely aggressive and fiercely protective. It's awesome.
Just just don't. It's easy. Again, it's easy to have a conversation with people and disagree and still be cool. If you come in and you're just not cool immediately, especially to other, like I said, I'm the target. If you want to come at me, and that's cool, right? That's fine because I'm the target, and I've always been, and that's part of the gig. But if you come in and start picking on other people in the chat, that's it. That's an electric fence, and you're done. Period. I don't care who you are. Don't do it. All right. Thank you for noticing, and that's just a policy, and it's always been the policy. So thank you, thank you, and yes, I got your back. If you're chill and you're cool, I got your back. All right, let's do. Thank you for noticing, Rohan. Let's rip it up.
Yeah, just on that one. Yeah, it's a bit like poisoning the well water a little bit, isn't it? So you can't allow it. Yeah, but anyway, nice one. Hold on. But yeah, I was just going to comment on something that Tam said about. I can't remember what it was exactly. I've got me a little quote here from Lao Tzu. It was on about, it says the more laws you make, the more criminals you create, and I think that happens with these corporations and government. The bigger something gets, big's bad, and it comes to that stuff. The bigger something gets, the more opportunities for temptation there are. So the more you're guaranteeing, someone's going to take it, and you're going to get more corruption. Do you know what I mean? That oversight thing. So. I think that's the problem, isn't it, with that one?
A good point. And
completely.
We're talking about our government, third parties working with aliens in our universe, outside of our universe, and we don't know their infrastructure. We don't know. Maybe it's a good agenda, but it's been corrupted. We don't know what anywhere in there and what these structures are, or how they behave, and so that's a good point. Things can get corrupted very easily. I mean, if you could just shave a penny off, a buck off everyone on the planet, you're a multi-billionaire, right? How many people are there? Billionaires?
That's right, and I think that's where it gets onto the.
Hello. Go ahead, Ron.
I think Tam's got cut off. Sorry.
Yeah,
and I was just saying. I think that's what it comes with the thing about people being like resources. That's the new game, isn't it? You've got all that money, then it's like bigger games and more epic games, and you start finding out how to operate some of this astral stuff and this in between stuff. You've got your funky technology. You're on it's like a bigger playground. You got to move up to another level, haven't you? Sort of thing. Out of boredom. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like. And that's why you want to. The next level will be the currency will be people. Let's go off into space, and do this, and then do and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's sci-fi imaginings you go on, whether it's galactic conquering and stuff or whatever. But like I say, people become the currency, don't they? Do you know what I mean? With that much power, and like I say, without any oversight, who's making the decisions on the direction of the species? Well, it's become like individuals that have become powerful. It's not become about. It's not about. We're not like a civilization anymore. We're becoming a big corporation machine. Right. And we're the slave workers. We're the Uyghur Muslims making iPhones in China. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That we're becoming that.
And foot shackles. And your break is spent watching Chinese propaganda. That's I laugh, but it's not.
Yeah, and you're laughing it up.
It's happened.
Because it's crazy. It's like that Black Mirror episode where I don't know I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one where the whole job is to be on bicycle machines to run the generators for the whole world to run, and everybody's stuck in a cubicle as the bedroom, and the whole wall's a TV screen, and you can't get away from the adverts. And then you do that, and you get up in the morning, and you go and just cycle, and you have to watch crap TV all day. Do you know? And you're just running the machine. Do you know what I'm saying? But that's everybody's life. Don't know any different.
There's something evil about efficiency, right? Like, if you want things to be more efficient, you can cut out stuff to make things better, more optimal for the goal. Yeah. But a lot of times, the thing to cut out is the the person, the humanity, the life.
Do you know what? It's almost like it's, you know, there's that saying that it's not the destination, it's the journey on the way to the destination. It's almost like making the destination the main thing. Let's ignore the journey, but of course the destination, you never get there, do you? Because you're always evolving it. Do you know what I mean? So it always becomes about the end goal, the means. You know, they say the ends justify the means, and just cutting all the humanity and the effort section out, aren't you? And saying we just need to get the objective sorted. But what if you've got that wrong? You know, what if your goals aren't great? Do you know what I mean? What if it's leading down a bad road? It's almost like it's like this overarching assumption that we've got it right. It's the hubris coming through. I think what we're sensing there is the hubris. That's the evil that you smell, I think.
Yeah, notably too, a good point about the efficiency, Ash. I think that given just the world we live in, everything needs to be bigger, better, faster, stronger, right? But there's a point where it comes at human cost. And so I think you're right, but also at the same time, efficiency can be draconian. It could be murderous. It could be, the vile bastards cracking the whip. That's efficiency too, right? I'm sure the bastards that built the pyramids were efficient, right? Cracking the whip on those slaves or whatever, right? Like, assuming that was the case. Again, I wasn't there. I can't claim to know. But you see, just as an example, I think that efficiency can be boiled down to, like Rohan was saying too, the economy. The economy is like it's in this abstract term of the economy, but the economy is people. It's us. And so when you kind of made those distinctions of people that are essential or non-essential employees, you were saying these people are essential and those people are not. And that's why I had a really big problem with that entire thing, because you're literally just drawing a line and saying, well, like you're saying, if these people eat and those people don't, we're fine with that, right? Even though that's a more like draconian way to think about it and say it, it is the next step. At some point, right, people are essential or people are not essential. And the second you start delineating between who's what from a government standpoint, we have a problem, don't we? We have a big problem.
Right. Yeah, that whole thing felt shady. Like this whole thing the last 2 years, it's like, stripping power positions in different places of people who are rebellious, evaluating, who we really need to keep around when shit hits the fan, and this almost kind of merges with that efficiency thing, like, everyone's got that conspiracy theory in the back of their mind as all this is going on, the Bill Gates pop thing, I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying. But if you were going to do it, you'd have to figure out who you want to keep around. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I don't mean to take the conversation that way. I just all three of those things kind of like triangulated that conspiracy theory. But anyway, great points. Those are good points. Yeah.
The whole thing is disgusting. The whole situation is disgusting. Who gets to decide who lives or dies? Who decides who's more important than who? I mean, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's the bit that gets blood boiling for me. That's the bit and so the thing is too, I'm a blue collar guy. Like, I'm not an important guy. I'm not loaded, rich, or any of the rest of this. I'm not a CEO of anything, right? I've been a blue collar guy all my life, and it probably shows, and that's fine. Like, I'm proud of that. Like, you work hard, right? However, there's a bit where they start to cut you off and be like, well, you're no longer necessary. You're like, fuck you. I blood, sweat, and tears for most of my life, just like anybody else, and you're going to say I'm not essential? Nah, man, we got a problem then. We got a serious problem, And again, once you start drawing that line between white collar, blue collar, that type of thing, nah. Don't get me going. Add that to the list of triggers for Mike. Taxes, healthcare, and totally, right?
Yeah, me too. I'm getting so angry and depressed thinking about it.
Guys, Wall Street executives provide a shit ton of value to society. Okay, I don't know what you're upset about. Clearly, we're all better. All our lives are enriched with all the things that they do for us.
Enriched.
Okay, so don't be crazy.
those hedge funds and
well, this is the number one reason why I've never worked for someone. I've never worked for a boss. Well, I did for like 5 minutes, but that was it. Because I can't stand someone telling me what to do. I can't stand the fact that someone has the authority to tell me that I am worthless or micromanage my what I've studied and micromanage me as a person and tell me when I can see my kid or not, or etc. etc. I will not stand for that shit. I'm like a rebellious teenager. The more you push, or the more rules you put in my life, the more I push away.
Yeah, same. You like to do what you like to do when you like to do it. And as well you should, by the way. As well you should. Yeah. So let's go final thoughts. Let's wrap this sucker up. Let's go ladies first with Tam. We'll go Rohan, then Ash, and let's wrap this sucker up.
I hate this. Live your own life. Eat cake every day if you want to.
But also it's bad for you. Just some friendly advice.
Okay, eat gluten-free cake.
No, if you want to. I'm with you. If you want to, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. I'm with you.
It's your fucking life. Yeah.
It's your decision. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Hell yeah. Anything else? Good advice, Tam. I appreciate it.
So that's it.
Perfect. Well said. Well said.
Dance if you want to. You can eat cake if you want to.
Hell yes.
There we go.
Hell yeah. All right, Rohan, you're up.
All right. Well, my last thoughts are we mentioned the Vatican have said that they'll accept aliens. They did a bit of a U-turn, didn't they? It says, we'll baptize aliens. They're like brothers, right? And then we talk about the Garden of Eden, the reptilians, okay, sleeping with women. They're sexually compatible, and if they're brothers, right, that means they must be part of us. They must be us. They must come from here, to be sexually compatible with humans. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe we're the invaders to this planet. So that's my final thought.
Boom. Couldn't have been just eat cake, bro. Why you gotta
that's another whole dinner conversation.
Why you gotta leave that on us like that? I'm gonna have nightmares now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was great. I loved it. I loved that and cake. It was profound. You got me all twisted now. I'm thinking about cake. I'm thinking about if I'm a reptilian hybrid. Now I'm like just confused.
But you're up. You're on the clock.
Oh, me. Oh, yeah. Okay, guys. Hello. Hi. Thanks for having me back. It's been a while. I've been pretty busy. I married my my beautiful wife.
Yay!
Congratulations,
Martian Slagmite. She's beautiful. Everything turned out great. I'm a married man now, and just chilling, just enjoying life, and things are slowing down a bit. So I'd like to get back into the crazy shit again, and missed you guys. Miss these conversations. This community is excellent and great, and honestly, I have my own YouTube channel. I'm plugging it right now. Please take a look. But if you guys didn't push me to make it, and if you guys didn't push people to come check it out, or you guys didn't come check it out, it wouldn't be anything. So thank you for having me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making me feel fucking less crazy. Right, that's one of the reasons I come here. And I think that's the great thing about here. Check me out, Ash Reptilian from Mars. And the more you check me out, the more I'll do stuff. If you guys want it, I can't deny. So again, appreciate you all, and hope you guys have a good night.
All right, let's wrap this up then. So as you guys know, this is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. We're here with Ash, Tam Bam, Rohan. Thanks, guys, for being part of this conversation. And as everybody knows, you're all invited to be part of this conversation. This is not an exclusive club. As the trope goes, it's a big club and you're not in it. Well, guess what? This is a small club and you're in it. And hopefully we get bigger and bigger. And like I said, as long as we respect each other, there's literally only one rule. Literally only one rule. You can believe what you want to believe. I don't care. I do not, because if you believe some interesting things, let's say, it makes for amazing conversation, and that's good. That's good. It makes other people think, all right? But if you come in this room, this chat room, all over the place, at all, in this community, and you attack people in this community, period, you're done. That's it. That's it. It's literally only one rule, and the rule is don't be a douchebag. That's it. It's so easy. It's so easy, except some people don't get it, all right? And I hate to be a dick like that, but look, you make me do it. All right? So, like I said, we don't play that. I'll ban half the accounts if I have to. And then the people that come back after they made them and said, Mike, what are you doing? I've been listening for 3 years. We'll sort it out later. All right? We'll ban everybody and let God sort them out later. All right? And I'm not saying I'm God. I'm saying it was.
Don't you dare ban me.
It was a funny quote. Anyway, point being, it's okay. Just don't hang out, chill, be okay, be nice to each other. That's literally, if you throw all the other premises of this whole show out, the aliens, conspiracy, the whole thing, thinking for yourself, the being who you want to be, all that. If you throw it all out, the number one rule of what this show has always been about is don't be a douchebag to each other. That's it. That was literally the starting premise here. Don't break the number one rule, please. All right? But as we're done, as we're finished, you guys know what's going on. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we do More Troubled Minds. We keep talking about this stuff, and we're mixing in more things, which, of course, is what? You know what that is. That's, we got a podcast up about that show on Netflix, right? Which is what? What's that show? That show is Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass.
1 through 3, yes. And that show is fucked up. I've been watching some more, and it goes, whoa. We did the first 3 episodes, and that's when it starts to get crazy. The next 4 are even more crazy. It goes off the rails. So if you're into that, go watch Midnight Mass. We did a podcast on that with our good friends James and the Night Stalker, and we're gonna keep doing stuff like that. If you guys like that, we'll do more like pop culture stuff, reviewing things, talking about different stuff. Because why not? Why the hell not? That's what's up with this. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for being part of this. And again, like I keep saying, thank you for being good to each other. You guys know who you are. Thank you for being good to each other. I appreciate that a lot. And that's what this is all about in the end, right? So, anybody else? Anything else? Let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm stuck with my online family.
There you go. Or you have Tam Bam to answer to. Anybody else? The reptilian screech, of course.
Don't forget, some of us are shapeshifters. Oh!
Yeah, there you go. There it is. See, as we finish, it's okay to laugh, guys. It's okay to laugh at yourself. All right, let's get the hell out of here. All right, this is Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. We'll be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific. We'll be here with James, our good friend from Salcedo Paranormal, that podcast, and we'll be talking about portals. Not just portals like you would expect, paranormal portals, doorways, windows, portals you may not be able to see. If you're interested in that, love to have you back tomorrow. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. As always, you could be doing a million things, and you're here with us. I'm honored by that. And yes, good night, good morning, wherever you may be. Thanks for listening. From our Troubled Minds to yours, have a great night. We usually chat it up in the Discord afterward, guys. If you want to hop in, join the Discord, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. Get in here. There's a little thing called Shoot the Breeze. Get in here, and we'll talk afterward and kind of hang out for a little bit. We usually do it most nights after the show. And it's open 24 hours. Troubled Minds never closes. There are no, what do you call it? Never mind. I had a great point, but fuck it. We're out of here. Have a good one, guys. We'll talk to you later. Right? That's what I'm saying, man. It's fine. Don't take yourself so damn serious all the time, right? Jeez, Michael.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. All right. Almost there. TroubledMinds.org. Click the Discord link. Come say hi, guys. Come hang out with us. From our Troubled Minds girls, have a great night. We're killing the music. Let's get the hell out of here, guys. We got shit to do. Let's do it.